Millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
From a seat in the stands to the best seat on the couch, Tito's Handmade Vodka is there on game day for every fan. Find cocktail recipes at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
Is there anything anybody loves more than agreeing with Tausch?
Packers Hall of Famer, Mark Tauscher.
I got a hunch this isn't going to be concise either.
Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios in downtown Milwaukee at the 3rd Street Market Hall.
I would say that you are pretty easygoing. You're actually probably more easygoing than I am.
Well, you're not easygoing at all.
Hey!
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
It is the Thursday edition. The Mike McCarthy holding fast on his, I'm not talking about playing the Packers, commitments. And I have to admit, as much as I love drama, I kind of like it. Edition. The Tausch always says it's a young man's game. It just got a lot younger. As Bill Belichick, at least temporarily, is not going to be coaching anyone. We'll see if that changes. Nick Saban is retiring. Pete Carroll is out in Seattle. That's a lot of legends in a 24-hour period. Edition. And Jordan Love on a hot streak, much like Aaron Rodgers once went on. I try to avoid that, but this one's kind of hard to avoid. Edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, everything you need on Wisconsin On Demand. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios, and so is, talk about living legends. He is the Packers Hall of Famer. He's not quite at Saban's level yet, but give him time. He is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I saw unsportsmanlike in the Belichick news. I thought Evan was going to... he legit got, choked
Did he
up.
cry?
I don't think he cried, but it was closer than it probably should be. It's the end of an era, man. It is the end of an era. It has been a fun, unbelievable run here that these old men, young men, have had. And for me... I think why this always hits is when the people that have defined your sports time frame, when they leave, it makes you reassess oh boy, man, I'm 46, 47. Man, Wilde, I'm 52, 53, and
not yet.
It's not going to be the same. So it's different. I think it's always more difficult when it's the team you actually really love. Mm-hmm. But in this case... you're not talking about any of these sports. You're talking, and I love Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's been a great coach. He ain't in these guys' leagues, but he's thrown in, which was, I don't know if that's a good thing for Pete or not. The Belichick-Saban era is going to go down as the greatest from a coaching standpoint on both sides. And when that is ended, I think all of us have looked at it and said, thank you. Because they've given all sports fans a ton of memories and a ton of things that make us love sports. What do you mean, not you?
Not me. I'm not thanking Bill Belichick.
Don't.
Well, here's the thing. And look, this comes from a place of immense respect for what he accomplished. I do not. He's the best. Better than Lombardi.
I don't know about that.
Really?
But continue. No, I don't know about that.
Well, I say better than Lombardi, but here's why I don't say thank you. Because he and his guy Tom Brady.
I already know what you're going to say, and this is such a loser's mentality, or this is a polluted mindset, according to Mike. What you're going to say now is polluted mindset 101.
All right, finish my set.
You're going to say they've changed the curve for everybody else. Now, if you don't win 6 or 7 championships, it's a disaster. They've ruined the journey of NFL football. That's what you're going to say. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong.
What a polluted mindset.
No. It is. I have an incredible appreciation that not only did they win 6 Super Bowls, they also lost 2. Like, they were in 8 Super Bowls on his watch.
Mm-hmm.
And him and Tom Brady were the best coach-quarterback combination, except apparently maybe Bart Starr and Vince Lombardi. But yes, it's ruined it. It's ruined fan bases. Every fan base wants their coach fired, even if he wins 1 title. That's not good enough. Mike McCarthy, bad coach. Didn't win enough titles. Like, all the bar, they've wrecked the curve. That's exactly what I was going to say, and I'm really worried about where the show is at.
Yeah.
Really worried.
No, so they set a new standard.
But it's not a standard that in the free agency era anyone will duplicate.
But this entire thing happened during the free agency era.
Right. That's how great they were. They are the outlier of all outliers. This isn't pre-free agency where you could keep the same guys together for a decade and you had these super teams that had
the 49ers
dynasties.
And Cowboys, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. I say it, and again, you know exactly what I was going to say, which is both cool and irritating and concerning all at once. But no one can live up to that, and all these other fan bases don't appreciate what success looks like because it's not success compared to what they did. Everybody wants what they did. No one is ever going to have what they did.
I don't know. What year is this for Matt and Jordan? They don't get at least 5. This has been a disaster.
Exactly. You know I'm right. Polluted though it may be.
No, I understand your angst about it, but no, the beauty of sports is records are meant to be broken, and the chase of perfection, you never get there, but you keep chasing it, and that's not a bad thing. Fan bases have to understand where they're at.
They don't know how hard it is to win a Super Bowl.
I don't think the Milwaukee Bucks, and I know this is going to be a bad example because they fired their coach, but I don't think the Milwaukee Bucks fans, anyone is expecting them to go on a Bill Russell run of 10. Nobody is looking at that as that's the gold standard. You don't get there, you can't do it. Nobody has done that. And as far as the Bulls, nobody is sitting here saying, well, if you don't get to 6 or 7 championships, what a disastrous era. That's just not the way it is. When you have a star like Aaron Rodgers was, you should get more than 1. Nobody in Green Bay, no Packer fan, if you told them Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers win 3 and lose 2 Super Bowls, any of them would be, oh, that's disastrous. Everybody would say, what a run. Nobody would say, well, it ain't as good as the Patriots. Nobody. So winning 1 is different than winning 2 and 3. Anyone that is looking at it and saying, if Jordan Love doesn't win 6 championships, he's a bum. Nobody's saying that.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that people don't understand, and you were on a Super Bowl team. You certainly watched other Packers teams, and you were on some teams that I thought the 2003 team, I thought you were going all the way. I thought you were going to be in the Super Bowl. I'm sure I wasn't the only one who thought that. I thought you were a team of destiny. But there were some 07 team. I thought you were going to the Super Bowl. I don't think people appreciate just how hard it is even to get to the Super Bowl once or twice because of what the Patriots did.
We're finding that out, though, here. I think Packer fans are finding it out. And in most cases, when you have outliers like the Patriots are, people look at it and understand it because, again, Nobody with the Bulls. I think the Bulls you could use a good example as kind of the same boat as what the Patriots are. And there is nobody that I know that is saying the Bulls were bums because they didn't get to 10. So this is the Celtics. This Patriots run that we just saw is the Boston Celtics in the 60s. And that is something that, wow, if you can get there, unbelievable. But there's nobody saying, if you don't, you stunk. Now, do people look at things from the perspective of, well, this is what we need to accomplish? We want to win a championship every year. Packer fans have found out relatively quickly over the last decade, it is not only hard to win a championship, it's hard to get back to try to win a championship. And I don't think anyone is looking at it saying that that's not the case. And another championship would be celebrated greatly, but the beauty of sports is, what do you got next? Because Belichick leaves and it's 24 years of greatness. Well, 20 years of greatness. But it's all about what's next with him. Nick Saban, it seems a little more finality to it, and everybody's kind of giving him his flowers. And the other thing that I find odd about these conversations the last days, it feels like a obituary. And that's such a
You've
weird,
always said that, though.
But it is the case. And I felt it when I retired, quote unquote, and I think when everybody else's days are numbered, that is such a big part of your life that the way people were talking about Saban and Carroll and Belichick today, it's a little creepy. They're not dead, but their careers and their coaching mortality may be.
By the way, 9 Super Bowl appearances. They lost 3 Super Bowls with Bill Belichick.
Forget
as the
Tommy
coach.
won that other one. That's what keeps throwing us off.
I heard Saban went into the Alabama facility today. He was helping out with the team. Day after he announced his retirement.
He's getting his coach in place. Yeah. Dan Lanning.
Ooh.
Well, that's happening.
When I look at the Super Bowl teams,
how awesome would it be? These Manning casts and everything else, those are cute. I want Belichick and Saban to just get a pod, but also do the big games. ESPN should be hiring them tomorrow to have their own channel to break down and watch football. People would eat that up. And they'd be funny. They'd make comments. Guy. They'd tell stories. I think it'd be a fantastic idea.
So the Chiefs have been to 3 Super Bowls in the last 4 years, winning 2.
They want more.
Of course, I'm not saying you shouldn't want more. That's not what I'm saying.
But that is kind of what you're saying.
No, I'm saying that being realistic about how freaking hard it is important.
Do you understand that it's not fans' jobs to be realistic? That's not their job.
You know what? You win 2 championships, I feel pretty good. We could take 10 years off.
That's just not
we've got people, we've had this conversation on this very show. Would you take 10 years of sub-500 losing football if you could win a title every 10 years?
And we went crazy in October when we didn't think we'd win another game.
Right, exactly.
So I've always said position yourself to win, but you got to get a couple. You're not going to get 10.
The Eagles went to 2 Super Bowls in 6 years. They won 1, and then they lost
and
last year.
And people are already saying if you don't win this first playoff game, that your coach should get fired. Hey, welcome to the new era. You don't have the pelts on the wall. You're going to get fired.
The Rams went to 2 in 4 years. They won 1. They lost 1.
That was a good run. It's kind of a sneaky good run. I didn't even think about that.
But the Patriots wrecked the curve. They're curve wreckers.
That is such a loser's mentality, man. I knew I didn't have to. Jesse was.
Stop calling me a loser.
I'm not a loser's mentality. I'm sitting and I see Jesse is in here. I got in here real early this morning, and Jesse, who usually, no offense, Jesse, is in here a little bit later. He's in here grinding over the show sheet. I said, "What are you worried about?" This is one of the most historic days in the history of sports we just are looking at here, from a big picture standpoint.
Delivering obituaries for their careers.
I hope they put good pictures of them up. That's another thing. I don't know why they put these pictures when they're 90 and frail. Put them up when they're winning championships like this picture. That should be Billy B's obit right there, smiling on a stadium podium.
No one can see what you're watching.
That's fair. That's a good point.
Polluted mindsets. My point is that I just think people should appreciate how hard it is to do what Belichick did, a third of what Belichick did.
Yeah.
And Brady did. Like, again, 9 Super Bowls, 6 titles. If they win 2 and they go to 3, that's really hard. Like, the Packers, and I was talking to somebody about this yesterday because obviously Mike McCarthy.
Who are you talking to?
There's somebody in the building. It's not important. But I don't think that Mike McCarthy is appreciated for being as good of an NFL head coach as he is, in part because of that damn 2014 meltdown in Seattle. That would change how we view Rodgers and Ted and Mike, and so many of their legacies are so, because if you get the second one, then it's different. Right? I'm not saying they needed to get 6 and get to 9, but they get 2, and everyone looks at them differently.
And I think once you get 2, it's easier to get 3. That sounds crazy, but
my point is simply, I want people to understand how flippin' hard it is just to get 1 or 2, or like.
Well,
I understand.
You're talking to a fan base that's lived it,
right?
We have been It's not like we're 1 year really good and then 3 years we stink.
We had people that wanted to fire Matt LaFleur in October.
We did.
You don't think that's a function of what expectations are in the National Football League because of what Bill Belichick and Tom Brady did?
That's a media function as well. The instant information, all of these.
I can't speak for that.
Here's the deal. It's a different era. That's why Nick Saban's out of it. I think had things stayed the same, Nick Saban would have coached for another 5 years. There's a lot of moving parts. The pressure has never been higher than what it is. The money has never been higher. Those two things go hand in hand, and they know that. Everybody knows what they're signing up for. Is it fair? No. But is it fair that they're making $22 million a year and school teachers are making $45? That's not fair either, probably, but that's life. So you live, you figure it out, and there's a new era, and I think this day, what is today, the 11th? This day will be one of those days that you look back and say the entire landscape of sports is different than what it was when we were growing up. And that's always an interesting place to live.
Well, I'm just glad that the GOAT of replacement windows.
Oh, and
Gina
new
Dell.
new windows too. Don't put Gina in a corner.
They're new, that you're replacing the old ones you had with the new ones. Isn't that replacement windows?
There's replacement, there's new, and another snowstorm. Got some more cold air coming in this weekend, one of those Arctic chills, and man, when that weather outside is frightful, your energy bill could be much more delightful. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin's energy-efficient windows. They keep the cold air outside where it belongs, and I just keep picturing dollar bills flying out of your creaky old cracked-up windows. Now, you'll help kick those January blues when you choose to book by the 31st with 0% interest for 36 months. Yes, you heard that right, 36 months. If you book by January 31st, visit PellaWI.com today to learn more. Certain restrictions do apply.
And pour me in, Coach. We'll talk more about the legendary coaches, and I do want to ask how you view Mike McCarthy. He is not going to talk about how he used to coach the Packers, but considering that this matchup is this week, and if he loses, you don't think that Jerry Jones is going to go get Bill Belichick? I think he is. We'll talk about that next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Hey, it's Gabe Neitzel from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. You've heard me talk about the results mentality has had on my life, but don't just take it from me. Jason has had success too, thanks to mentality.
My only regret is I didn't do it sooner. Knowing once again I've gotten the treatments done and continuing, I do feel stuff does hurt a little bit more, but I'm 40, in my 40s, and that's going to happen. But again, the energy levels, it is above and beyond. Again, I'm back in that age where I'm like, this is amazing.
Get started today at lowtusa.com.
Everything is expensive right now. Gas, food, you name it. You're spending more, you are making the same or less money. So, what do? You rack up credit card debt. That's what you do. It's not your fault. It's the economy. And guess what? If you rack up too much credit card debt like some of us, you can't pay your bills. Then the credit card companies, as nice as they are, start hounding you for money. Then you start your downward spiral. A smart thing for you to do is to call the Zero Debt. They can help you consolidate all your credit card bills into one affordable payment. Millions of people have done it. It works to make you debt-free. Make this free call right now. It costs you nothing to learn more.
800-503-7846. 800-503-7846. 800-503-7846. That's 800-503-7846.
Cousin Subs is here to rescue you from the winter blues with the hero of all Euros. Their mouth-watering Euro is back and features Euro meat, Wisconsin feta cheese, fresh cucumbers, onions, tomatoes, and Greek yogurt tzatziki sauce on their freshly baked Italian bread. So warm up your taste buds today and enjoy a Euro done better the Cousin Subs way. Order online at cousinsubs.com for pickup or delivery. Available for a limited time only. Cousin Subs, they believe in better.
Get your game on at the Island Resort and Casino with first-round picks of your favorite slots and table games. Watch your team compete on big screens in Team McSee's Sports Bar or the Sports Illustrated Sportsbook Room. Yes, you can bet the spread, parlays, futures, and more with Sports Illustrated Sportsbook at Island Resort and Casino. Your place to bet on sports. To book a game-time getaway at the Island, call 800-682-6040 today.
Ready to conquer the Midwest's premier winter playground? Then start planning a visit to Granite Peak. With over 200 acres of skiable terrain, Granite Peak has something for everyone, from beginners to seasoned pros, park skiers to mogul fanatics, and everything in between. Soar to new heights on their state-of-the-art chairlifts and warm up in the cozy historic chalet with roaring fireplaces and stunning views. A legendary winter adventure begins at Granite Peak. Don't miss out. Visit skigranitepeak.com to book your winter vacation now, and for more information, Granite Peak. Legendary winters, legendary fun.
At We Energies, we're committed to building a bright, sustainable energy future. We're investing in clean energy projects like solar, wind, and battery storage. As a leader in the decarbonization effort, our goal is to achieve net zero carbon emissions from our generation fleet by 2050. It's part of our plan to provide the affordable, reliable, and clean energy you depend on. Learn more at weenergies.com. We Energies. People you can trust, energy you can depend on. This message was paid for by the stockholders of WEC Energy Group.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance. The green and gold are playoff bound. Join the celebration right here.
I'm really happy for our football team. Just the ability to persevere throughout the course of the season, to prove a lot of people wrong.
94.5 ESPN.
Give me one reason to steer, and I'll turn right back around. Give me one reason to steer, turn right back around.
Bill Belichick parting ways with the New England Patriots.
Oh, the Patriots fired him. They're just saying it nicely.
Yes, they are. That's exactly what that is. Pete Carroll, who doesn't belong in this conversation, but...
What a smart move by Pete. Well, Pete got fired, too, but
he did.
Timing is everything in life. Pete Carroll would have... I think Pete would have probably preferred to have a different day because he deserves to be celebrated. He's a champion.
He won at both levels. Those guys didn't. He had a better run at both college and the pros than Saban did.
Definitely in the pros. College, there's not even like a blink of the same.
But combining the two, like Saban was one and done and bad.
I think most people
NFL run.
I think most people would take Nick Saban.
If you want to say, I think Pete Carroll belongs in the conversation.
He doesn't, but that's okay. It's cute that you think so.
He's tier 2, but he's not like tier 5.
No, I'm not. I would agree with your tiering on that. Hey, do you guys agree with this? I love this quote I just sent you guys. And this is part of the Nick Saban, the Bill Belichick, hungry and, the disease that creeps into your program is called entitlement. And I know there's been a lot of people said entitlement town when it comes to Green Bay.
Entitled town.
We have a saying around our place that will eat off the floor. If you're willing to eat off the floor, you can be special. You guys like that or not?
Did you just throw your phone down for
I wanted some effect.
Phone drop.
Would you eat off the floor?
Yep. You know why people eat off the floor? Because they have to. You want people that have to.
You don't think that there are kids at Alabama and Georgia with the millions and millions of dollars that they spend on facilities and NIL.
Red card, using the red card, which I love. Thank you.
Aren't that are eating off the floor, like figuratively speaking, or literally, frankly.
It's an analogy.
I know, and I know you love that one, and you love the rat poison.
I do.
I dropped a piece of salami on the floor the other day.
Gotta be a little more careful eating the salami off the floor if you've got rat problems.
Well, I didn't have to eat the salami off the floor, but I ate it.
Yeah.
Because it was good.
The bottom line is I think it's getting more and more difficult for coaches because things have gotten better for players, which, by the way, is a good thing. But it's gotten more and more difficult, especially when you're winning big. Goes back to, this all comes back to McCarthy and what Mike said when he first took over the Green Bay Packers in his first head coaching job.
Yep.
First meeting when we sat down, and he was talking because we had just had a horrific year, and it's not about handling that. Everybody bows up when adversity hits. It's handling success, and that's why what Belichick and Saban have done is even that much more impressive. Because they've had success on levels nobody's ever thought was possible. And they kept doing it. No, Belichick until Brady left. But with Saban, right up until the day that he exited Alabama and came back the next day, right up until that day, they were right in the mix for everything that they wanted.
So how do you think, because I agree, I'll never forget that press conference and Mike McCarthy saying that. And I will admit, I thought, you're taking over a 4-12 team. Your offense was the worst in the league last year as the offensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers. And your biggest challenge will be handling success. That takes a lot of guts to come out and say that.
And then, good thing we didn't want to have to put ourselves to the test by getting shut out and running like 30 plays in the first game. So we didn't want to. We were nervous about handling success. We wanted to make sure we stunk for a while so that we didn't have to have that big test right away.
But I bring up that season all the time. You guys won your last 4, and it was a springboard into the following year when you guys went to the NFC Championship game. How do you think your teams, Mike McCarthy's teams, handled success? You guys won the Super Bowl, and I know you retired, or the league retired you after that Super Bowl year. But they went 15-1 the following year, so they handled success pretty well.
I really think Mike did a great job in that regard, and it always helps to have a really great player.
That does help, yeah.
That's a big component to that. Having good players helps you be a better home field team and all the stuff that we all talk about. But there is that mentality can creep in. And that's why sometimes addition by subtraction is a good thing. Because you can't let that, they say, well, that's a cancer in your locker room and all these other things. That stuff's real. And you have to make sure that you're staying on top of that because complacency happens to adults. It happens to everybody. But in sports, especially now when you have so many attaboys being thrown around, it definitely happens in this too.
Doesn't happen to Tito Beveridge, though. Pour me in, Coach Saban.
Stop using my pour me in, Coach. That's my line. I love it. Tito's handmade vodka on game day, retiring from Alabama, getting let go from Seattle, getting let go from New England. Well, pour me in, Coach. From a now seat on the stands or on my couch, you can root for your favorite team with your favorite team spirit. Stack a spicy Bloody Mary for your warm-up before your announcement on your press conference when you leave. You can salt the rim of a Tito Rita for after that press conference, or you can just take home the dub with a Tito's and anything. I like it with cranberry. You can like it with soda, lemon, whatever you like. You're calling the game. You can change up.
Are you getting emotional about being poured
up
in?
About Nick Saban. You can change up your roster, wash that lucky jersey, as long as you make Tito's your first round bottle pick. Whose house? Tito's house. Find cocktail recipes for every fan at Tito'sVodka.com.
Evan Cohen. So you thought he looked emotional on his television radio program?
He looked like a deer in headlights, and then he looked like someone had stolen his dog. That's what he looked like. Jesse will have. I'm sure Jesse will have that audio ready when we come back.
And a still shot of it from the show.
Actually, I do have a still shot I'll send to Jesse that we can play.
Well, you are a very accomplished photographer. Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike joins us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcasts for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Protect your dream home with American Family Insurance. And you can weather any storm. You'll also save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote. Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Your nose is for breathing. Your mouth is for eating. And if you're breathing through your mouth, it's not because your body wants to. It's because it has to, because your nose isn't working properly. And although you've lived like this, it's no way to live, and it's having a significant impact on your life. I know you know this, and I know that taking action isn't always convenient. But at Advent, we've done all we can to make changing your life for the better as easy as possible. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. With tens of thousands of our patients, a thorough breathing triangle evaluation, along with a simple 20-minute in-office procedure called balloon sinuplasty, has opened their nasal passages, allowing them to breathe freely through their nose for good. And there's a good chance this procedure can do the same for you. We'll help you breathe through your nose again, and it will change your life.
Go to AdventKnows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your Green and Gold Fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee. Want that mirror finish on your car? You need Z-Gloss by Z-Bart. Z-Gloss is a 3-layer ceramic coating that not only gives your car that mirror finish, it protects it from everything that Mother Nature can throw at it. Visit ZBart.com for more information.
The Packers defense will have their hands full with the Cowboys' high-powered offense this weekend. Quarterback Dak Prescott ranks second in the league in passer rating, while his top target, CeeDee Lamb, is top 3 in catches, receiving yards, and touchdowns in the NFL this season. Head coach Matt LaFleur knows what his team is up against.
It's extremely explosive. Dak's playing at a really high level. They got a really good offensive line. CD's a problem. They're scoring at a high rate. I just think a lot of it comes down to how well the quarterback's playing.
It's the Packers and Cowboys Sunday in the NFC wildcard round. Kickoff from AT&T Stadium is at 3:30.
This has been your Green and Gold Fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee.
Learn from experts at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Their faculty is recognized worldwide as leaders in their fields. You'll get to know them in small classes and through hands-on learning opportunities. There are more than 200 programs for you to be able to choose from. Plus, new freshmen are automatically considered for merit scholarships. With a merit scholarship, you can receive up to $6,000 over 4 years. Find out why thousands of students are choosing UWM. Apply now at uwm.edu.
At Kessler's Diamonds, we know you're too busy to go shopping from store to store, too busy to listen to a bunch of sales pitches, too busy to negotiate. This is Monica Kessler. I'm going to tell you another reason why I like working at Kessler's. Are you ready? At Kessler's, we don't negotiate. We think it's unfriendly and dishonest, so we've never done it. Would you ask your friend to pay a higher price than what you were truly willing to accept? Kessler's is a 100% employee-owned company, and the owners insist that everyone gets the lowest price. Don't believe me? Put it to the test. Go to any of our Kessler's locations and ask to buy something for $1 less than the price on the tag. One of our owners is going to offer to find you something else at that $1 lower price. But the item you want costs $1 more, period. Kessler's is the face of friendship and fairness and integrity. You never have to negotiate at Kessler's. And that's comforting, especially when you're in a hurry.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Michelle Smallman tweeted, he's in a bad place today. He looks. I love the Bill Belichick homage with his clothing choice.
So I was watching this morning, and he definitely was shocked, which I don't know why he's shocked. We've been telling him for 2 weeks it's going to happen on this show. And then he had the foresight to bring his cutoff hoodie and Belichick stocking cap in, so he had to have known, but that tells you, just like when players get released and they know it's coming, it still is a gut punch when stuff like that happens.
What did you say? What did you say Evan Cohen looked like again? What did you say?
He looked like somebody stole had taken his dog, and he was a deer in the headlights when it happened. Like he had that puzzled look on his face.
Evan, did you feel like a deer in the headlights whose dog had been stolen this morning?
Well, once again, Jason Tausch, wrong, because I did not have that ready to go. In fact, what I did, and I'm going to have a replacement one now, was I have a locker at ESPN, and in that locker at ESPN are all of my ESPN-related shirts, sweatshirts, whatever it may be.
Oh, you cut it off.
You cut all that? Oh, wow.
So here's what happened. Thank you to Beaver Dam, ESPN Radio and Beaver Dam. I had my sweatshirt in there, so I'm going to need a replacement. And what I did was I had the hair and makeup ladies help me cut the sleeves in a break right after it happened. I was not wearing that to start the show. And I had an ESPN Ithaca hat in there that I turned around, and I did inside out, turn around, and that is what I did this morning on Unsportsmanlike.
Okay, but you were, as Josh DiMaggio just texted us, you were verklempt. Is that fair?
I was not thrilled. I still thought that there was going to be an opportunity potential.
Look at how shook he is. He ran off the air. That's how shook he is.
Yeah, well, no, I'm back. Sorry,
okay.
The phone
no worries.
car situation.
Hey, take your time. Enjoy yourself.
I truly, here's the thing.
You're so
I
mean.
truly believed there was a chance of him coming back because I had spoken to a couple of people during the course of the week, and I thought that there was some momentum building around the idea that it hadn't been done yet. And then I do wonder if the Vrabel thing kind of sped up the process because of the fact that that's the guy that they would want as head coach. Does that make sense to you guys or no?
No, I think the fact that we all have seen this coming, and I think Bill saw it coming, the Crafts, you saw some of there when they would pan up to the box and they were saying, we just ain't good enough, all this other stuff, and what Kraft said before the year, and the fact that they finished 3-14, right? All of those things, it was time to move on. It was never going to be an easy transition, and I just think it's more of, I can't believe this era is over. You knew it was coming, but that was what I was surprised when I saw it, because you're talking Saban all this, and then boom, it hit you like a rock.
Well, and this is the thing. When you have these kind of decisions in any walk of life, you've got to be right. Not everybody who makes these decisions is like Brian Gutekunst, who's just right about everything and needs to be praised from here until eternity.
Goody.
I mean, the Goody fan club should begin. But Belichick's greatness for 20-plus years was knowing when to say goodbye. He did it a day too early versus a day too late. And now, if you actually think about who is in the crosshairs right now, I actually think it's the owner of the team, Robert Kraft, because everyone who's great, everyone blames Belichick for Brady leaving. Well, Robert Kraft at that time could have said, no, Bill, sorry, if you want him out, You leave, he's staying. Then, after that, Robert Kraft made the decision to keep Bill Belichick, which I thought was the right move. Record-wise, did not obviously pan out that way. And now he's made the decision to say goodbye. So if Belichick goes somewhere else and wins big without the Patriots, how does that make Kraft look? So I think that Kraft, who should be in the Hall of Fame, Kraft is arguably, outside of the Rooneys, maybe the greatest owner in this sport right now. I think there needs to be some conversation about him because he is the one under his watch that said hello to Belichick and hello to Brady, but also said goodbye to both of them.
Yeah, they didn't do what Belichick always does, and that is get players out a year earlier. I think once Brady was gone, I think it probably should have been a clean set for everybody. Let Belichick go somewhere else. Because if you look at it, it's been a disaster since Brady left. Been a disaster.
I don't agree.
They went to the playoffs one year.
Yeah, I don't agree in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, are they in a good spot?
I don't want to get into the specifics.
Okay.
They're not in a bad spot. They're the third pick in the draft. They have an elite defense, and theoretically, you're supposed to have a better personnel person to come in there. So that personnel person, whomever that person may be, should be doing a better job than the guy that they just got rid of. Now, I don't see how that's going to happen, but theoretically, that is
that's not going to happen. Belichick's defensive chops, no question. But I think you said Kraft is in the crosshairs. I disagree. I think while I coming into this game, and to swing it back to the Packers-Cowboys, this puts more, I guess, onus on Mike McCarthy this weekend, even if there was before. Because Jerry Jones has talked about his affinity for Bill Belichick openly. And while he's given a big round of endorsements for Mike's job that he's done, if the Green Bay Packers with the youngest roster go down and beat the Dallas Cowboys in their stadium again for the 10th time in 11 games, you don't think Jerry is going to be very tempted to say, we got a couple I'm an old guy, Bill's an old guy, with what this defense and everything that's set up, bringing him in, you don't think that's at the top of his list?
1,000%. And what I hate that I have to suggest now, and listen, Belichick is an upgrade over every coach in the NFL for a good team outside of maybe Andy Reid, okay? And when I say that specifically, for a good team, Kyle Shanahan has done a phenomenal job with the Niners. Do not sit there and tell me that Bill Belichick does not give them a better chance of winning the Super Bowl if he's hypothetically their head coach going into the playoffs. So I'm specific to good team. So I hate that I'm about to do what I'm about to do. I love Mike McCarthy as a head coach. I think he's insanely underrated. I think he is retroactively going to be appreciated more because of what Rodgers has become and what Love has done. I think he is going to be retroactively appreciated more in Wisconsin than maybe he was at the time he was actually the head coach. I think that Mike McCarthy has to do something that feels icky and yucky, but as he's getting ready for a playoff game, he needs his name strongly attached to his old buddy John Schneider in Green Bay. I'm assuming they're buddies. And to go to the Seattle job. He needs that out there now. He needs to be linked to that job more than he's already been by way of Mike Sando of The Athletic. Like, that needs to happen more because what you just said, Tausch, is dead on. It shouldn't be. Mike McCarthy shouldn't have to look over his shoulder, but obviously he does.
Yep. You're both right on that. Great to hear you guys agree.
There's no way he's going to do it because he is going to keep focus completely on this game.
I know. Well, it's not him. Then he needs to have his agent.
Yeah, but I don't think. But yeah, he doesn't want that out there, though. I don't think he would. If that was the case, and again, I think Mike is looking at a 2 or 3 year run. I don't think Mike wants to coach till he's 75. Mike's got a lot of stuff going on. I think Mike likes the lake, and he likes, he's got kids and all this other stuff. I don't think he's one of these guys that wants to coach till he's 80 like Belichick does. But you're right. When the Carroll news broke yesterday, that's the first thing I thought of was, Schneider. Oh, you can use this because
when you say that's the first thing you thought of, you mean when we were on the phone and I brought it up to you? Because you didn't think of it. I
did think of it.
Oh, snap.
Oh, burn.
That's a lie.
God, you're annoying. Jason, go ahead.
Because I'm right?
You're not right. I didn't even know. First, Saban had... Okay, whatever. Yeah.
If I may shift...
Jason, that's the first thing he thought of. When somebody
said it to him.
I didn't actually think of it. Mike Sando from The Athletic, who I believe, Jason, is based in Seattle and tied into the Seahawks.
Yes.
I believe he is the one who actually said that, in addition to the obvious of Dan Quinn, who was there now with the Packers' opponent and the Cowboys.
So, Jason, do you think Mike McCarthy coaches anywhere else besides the Dallas Cowboys? Do you think once this thing ends, it's done? Or do you think he goes coaches somewhere else?
I think it depends on how the Cowboys thing ends.
Okay.
I think they're going to win on Sunday. I think they're going to lose the NFC Championship game to the 49ers. I don't know if that will be enough for Jerry Jones for him to stay with Bill Belichick becoming available. But that's how I think this is going to play out. Evan, I wanted to ask you about my polluted mindset, because that's where we started the show, because I have immense respect for what Belichick and Brady did
that great
together.
breakfast with him, too. A great breakfast that you guys
dinner,
had.
But it was one of the most memorable moments of my career was seeing this guy who is so intentionally boring, bland, and uninteresting at the podium, regaling us with stories.
Tausch or Belichick we're talking about.
Oh, burn.
We're talking about Belichick. I don't know if I've ever actually had dinner with Tausch like I did with Belichick. But be that as it may.
You eat dinner at lunch is what you do.
Well, sort of. Did Bill Belichick and Tom Brady ruin the expectations for all other fan bases by being as successful as they were? That no one appreciates how hard it is to win Super Bowls, get to Super Bowls, be good year after year after year after year, because they made it look so much easier than it actually is.
That's an interesting angle. I had not thought about that. I don't think so, because I think those two guys have graduated into MJ-level status where you can't compare yourself to them. So if we're going to use the team that you guys talk about on a daily basis, the Green Bay Packers, if Packers fans are comparing themselves to Brady-Belichick era, that's ridiculous. If Packers fans think each of Favre and Rodgers should have an additional title, that is more realistic and logical.
No, I'd agree with that.
Right, but I don't think you can sit there and say we should have been Brady and Belichick, because I don't think you should have been, because I don't think you have the selfless leader at the quarterback position that maybe now you do. I don't think for the last 30 years you did, like New England did. Like, the way in which Tom Brady was, and he never changed, and he was the same guy, picked 199 from day one until the end, because needless to say, the Green Bay Packers have had quarterbacks that have changed. That would be the biggest understatement of the year, right? That they were not the same guys coming in as they were on their way out, where I don't think that there is much of a change in the way Brady acted, approached his teammates, the way he was covered, his celebrity status, his financials. Obviously, that was a lot different, but I think that because you didn't have this selfless leader like New England did, I don't think you can compare yourself to New England.
So, speaking of quarterbacks who changed, you had Dan Graziano on your program. We played the clip. What did you think of his? What did he called him a con man? He went after.
He was bold. There was no hedging with Grazi.
No. What did you think of how Dan Graziano described Aaron Rodgers?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Tausch, this one's for you specifically. Jesse, why don't we play it? Go ahead. Yeah, that's my point. Jesse, you got to be ready with that. My God.
I don't even know what he's
Wake
talking
up.
I was answering a phone call. What do we have there? Sorry.
Forget. Well, I mean, why not play the audio, Jesse? Just saying.
Graziano with Evan on Sportsman. I'm sorry. I did not set you up to succeed there, Jesse. My fault.
Anyway, all right. So, Jason, here's the thing. He called him a lot of things that I'm looking at Dan's face when he's doing this, because he was in person with us, and I could tell it was a lot of stuff that he was holding in that he just wanted to get out there, and I'm not sure that many people, if any, disagreed with him. Here is where I am at with Rodgers that I'd like to understand, and you guys can help me with this. We talk a lot about fan bases and support, and we've done the Rodgers versus Favre, Rodgers versus Jordan Love. From what Tausch has told me and others have told me, Packers fans are kind of sick of him. I think the Jets fans are sick of him. I think the McAfee fans are sick of him. And I think the people that like him, he's sick of them. Where does he live exactly in our public consumption right now? Because I think the people that seem to love him and his viewpoints, some may view as a little bit more extreme, others may not, but I don't know that his thoughts align with them. I don't know where he lives anymore. Like, who has this guy's back? What has he done to himself?
Let's say like Aubrey. What's that Aubrey guy's name that goes
Aubrey
in the cave
Marcus.
with him? I think he's probably.
Aubrey Huff of the Giants probably likes him.
Yeah. I don't think so.
That's actually a really good reference right there that no one's going to get.
I don't get it.
You get it, you get it. I'm not going to go further than that.
Okay, that's good.
I know. That was really good.
I still think that he has some runway with the Jets. You saw Saleh, and the Jets are all in with him. They're all in with Aaron. So this is a critical year because I think if things don't go well, there's a good chance that's the end for Aaron Rodgers in the NFL. If things don't go well in New York this upcoming season. You don't have any more guaranteed money left. Teams would still, I still think he would have a shot. He would play somewhere, but it would be on a rental basis. There'd be no more Aaron's going to be moving forward. I think that will be the case. So this season is going to be everything when it comes to where he's at.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Of course.
And I'm being serious about this. So let's take into consideration everything that everyone knows about the two people that I am about to mention. And let's not do it based on the actual strategy of winning this game. Let's do it based on allegiance. If I were to say that Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre were going to have a dodgeball game, and Packers fans could choose the side that they're on, there would be more people on Rodgers' side or Favre's side right now. And I'm saying factor in everything that has gone wrong with both of them.
Today, January 11th, it's Brett Favre.
Yes. Despite the welfare scandal and everything else. Yep.
September 15th of next year, it could easily be Aaron Rodgers. But for today, it's Brett Favre.
Because, so you're saying, and I'm going to put allegedly on this, the person that allegedly hurt others, Packers fans are more accepting of than the person who's allegedly hurting himself.
Mm-hmm. As we sit here today, yes.
Yep.
And Jason, you would agree with that?
I wouldn't agree with thinking that way, but I would agree that is where the crowd is, yes. And I don't even think it's that close, frankly.
So I ask, what has happened to him that he is, like, McAfee ends the show with him, which was going to end anyway for the NFL season, so it's not like that big of a deal, right?
Right.
And Graz comes on our air, and Dan Graziano, for people who don't know, literally has had the same job that Jason has had forever, and Jason, I'm speaking for you, but consciously does not try to get too personal unless somebody really drives you insane. Let's call that person, I don't know, Evan. And then, like what Graziano did yesterday with us on Unsportsmanlike. Like, what has happened to Rodgers to get people to this place with him?
Yeah, I thought what you said to us last week, and to me specifically, as is often the case, you're so good on air. You were right. I'm at a point where I have to explain my friendship with him, which you never had to do before. And as I told Tausch on the show yesterday, I did send him a note, and I'm worried about him. And I think that look.
Can I ask what that note, without being specific, can you give us the general vibe of that note?
Yeah, I can tell you. I said, I'm not going to lie, I'm a little worried about you. Said, I'm sorry, that's the older brother in me. And, Sid and I had been talking on our way back from basketball practice about kind of where he's at, and Sid is a clone of me, so she's sensitive and cares about people, and she was worried about him, and so I wanted to send him a note. He didn't reply. I don't know if and when he will. I don't know if he thinks there's anything for me to be worried about. But, again...
Do you think that he will take that as insulting?
Maybe, but I thought long and hard before I sent the note, and I thought, and what you just said, I was thinking the exact same thing. Who exactly cares about him right now? Who likes him right now? And I
don't know.
Yeah,
I think that maybe there are some people that he wouldn't want to care about him in a good way. I'm not saying you. I'm saying a fan base that he's not like. I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't know. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Here's my thing. I've said this before. To me, loyalty is the most important quality because all the other stuff in a friend or someone who cares about you comes off of how loyal they are to you. And it's really easy to be loyal when everything's great. Things are not great with his public persona. And my issue is, how many people do you have around you? Because you can criticize me for a lot of things during my career, but I always shot him straight. And I don't know how many people are around him that are willing to tell him what they really think. I don't know. Maybe he does have those people. But if you surround yourself with people who just tell you how great you are all the time, I don't know if you have a blind spot. I think you probably do. So, look, again.
No, wait, but let me just follow up on that. Tausch, you're somebody that's kissed Rogers' ass forever to get team
Can you
time.
say
What
that?
do you think
Can
about
you
this?
say that word on air?
He is the content.
Oh, yeah.
VP of content. He probably knows.
I think that right now, anytime you're injured and you're a part of a team, it's a really tough place, especially when Aaron has been where he's been. I think it's been an incredibly difficult season for him, and I think he just needs to get back to playing football and winning. That, I think, will change this narrative quickly. But until then, that narrative is going to be out there until August or September.
Yeah, I think that winning does cure a lot, right? Like the comparison I used on the air yesterday on Unsportsmanlike was Draymond Green, a lot of drama around him now, self-created, understandably. But if the Warriors, when he comes back, start winning, nobody's going to think about that, right? Like, even if you think about the Bucks, like, not a great defensive team. What happened with Terry Stotts in the preseason? Not there anymore. Did they miss Drew Holiday? Well, guess what? They beat the Celtics tonight. They go on a run in the playoffs. We're not going to ever think that Adrian Griffin's a rookie coach who doesn't know what he's doing. We're just going to say Giannis did it again, right? The winning cures all. It is a long, long time before Rodgers even has a chance to win again. And even when he has that chance to win again, he may not win again. And if he doesn't win again with who he has become, per Mark Tauscher moments ago, his career may be over.
Yes, but I'll say this. You're also not going to hear a bunch from him, and the playoffs are starting. I don't think there's going to be a ton of Aaron Rodgers news until minicamp start. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, unless Mike McCarthy gets fired.
That'll be nothing to do with Aaron. That'll be nothing to do with Aaron. The Aaron Rodgers era.
I know a national. I disagree.
Okay.
I know a national morning host that'll come on the air the next day and scream and yell for the Jets to hire him.
Well, that would be really dumb, but go for it.
Michelle Smallman.
Thanks, Evan.
Thanks.
You Mike McCarthy the clock again.
I did.
Great job, Jesse, with that audio. That was amazing.
It's ready now.
Great stuff, Jesse.
That is Evan Cohen. You can see him. And
I
listen
had
to him.
no clue. I didn't know if Evan had. I didn't know where he was going with that, but that was obviously Jesse. He's not happy with you.
More next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. We got the guy.
As Love is down the way for another big play. Pass to Wicks, and he finds the goal line. There's Love on 3rd and 1, wants to go up top, looks to the end zone, the pass is on the money for the touchdown.
Jordan Love leads the green and gold back to the postseason in his first year under center.
He's about the right. The guy just comes to work every day, has a great attitude, is one of the guys.
Talk playoff pack right here. 94.5 ESPN. UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Ashton Rotman with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is Pius star basketball player Jaquan Johnson. The senior eclipsing the 2,000 career point mark last weekend after putting up a monster performance in their win over Greenfield. Johnson dropped 46 36 points in the 80-73 Pius win. Johnson's rise to stardom has been a 4-year process, though. He averaged 15.7 points in his freshman season to now, as a senior, 34.2 points a game he's averaging this year. The senior point guard is already committed to playing Division I hoops starting next season at Bradley University in Illinois. Congratulations once again to UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Jaquan Johnson of Pius High School, and good luck on the rest of your season.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
The green and gold and playoff football. Are you going to be ready come game time? HD TVs in every room. Check. Green and gold flag out front. Check. Grill ready to fire up. Check. Chips, dips, cheesehead. Check, check, check. Now the real planning begins. A trip to Discount Liquor to complete your own personal playoff party. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. Is beer on the menu? We'll set you up with your favorite or recommend something new. We have over 2,000 to choose from. What about liquor? Our variety is unmatched, as is our selection of wine. So if you want it, we've got it. Discount Liquor is your personal playoff party headquarters. Discount Liquor has everything you need, all at the lowest prices in town. Come see us today at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee, and on Barstow and Main in downtown Waukesha. Open daily 9 to 9 and Sundays 10 to 2.
Discount Liquor.
What's better than free? How about play free all year? This January at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you can win over $2,000 in reward play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games to earn prize drawing entries. Then stop by each Thursday night in January to see if you're a winner. $400,000 in prizes is up for grabs. Over 40 winners each week. Yeah, free is for me. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
Monster Jam. Massive stunts. All-out racing. Crazy skills. Monster Jam. As big as it gets. The fun begins at the pit party, where you can meet the drivers, get autographs, take pictures, and see the trucks up close. Get your $20 pit party pass at monsterjam.com today. Must have valid event ticket to enter pit party. Restrictions may apply. Rules and activities are subject to change. Visit website for event details. Coming to Fiserv Forum January 20th and 21st.
Hey, Fleet Rewards members, save 10% now through Wednesday at Fleet Farm. No rebates, no waiting, no mail-in forms or receipts. The added 10% savings coupon is for all Fleet Rewards members, in-store and online. Not a member? Sign up in minutes to get your additional discount. Forget stamps or waiting for rebates. Enjoy 10% savings now through the 17th. And thanks for shopping Fleet Farm. Some restrictions apply.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Thanks again to Evan Cohen. Always makes us think on his appearances. Occasionally gets after us. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's you. Today was Jesse.
Jelly! Big Jelly Day today. I like that.
Jesse, I'm really sorry. I view my role here much like coaches want to put their players in best positions to succeed. I always want to make sure you and Tausch are in positions to succeed. I can't see you. I didn't know you were on the phone. So I'm sorry that you got publicly chastised for not having the audio.
Yeah, that was rough.
Not the first time, won't be the last.
I was going to say, that was rough.
Thankfully, I'm just the character, and no one has to worry about my feelings.
Yeah, that's true.
But be that as it may. Tausch, I don't want to talk about Rodgers anymore. I do want to talk about McCarthy. The point that he made about getting his name out there for the Seattle job with John Schneider, who those two do have John Schneider introduced him to his wife. They have a great relationship. He is a proven coach. Dan Quinn got a team to a Super Bowl. I still think that he's very likely to be the head coach there. But the bottom line is Mike McCarthy does need to win. If he wants to keep coaching,
and he does. I don't think he's just, I'm going to take this Cowboys job as long as it takes me, and then I'm going to retire back to Green Bay and walk my grounds with Wilde at 5 o'clock in the morning and make him bring me coffee. Like, I don't think he's eager for that. I think he'll be happy when he's doing it.
If that isn't the motivation to win this weekend, I don't know what would be.
Every Wednesday, Wilde Wednesdays, just walking the grounds, drinking coffee.
I think that's the part of this, and there's always going to be rumors, and people piece things together, and, I think Mike's only focus is going to be trying to win this game. I don't think all of that other stuff. If he was, now if his agent and everybody else wants to do that stuff, great.
Sure.
Positioning yourself, but this is all about this weekend, and that's, I think, why this is so exciting. But let's not kid anybody. The pressure is all, and my whole house money thing and everything that I've talked about this week.
True.
Everything is on the line for the Dallas Cowboys. And while we still would love to see the Green Bay Packers win, and I understand players saying all the right things yesterday, coaches, they know that the pressure is on them. And by the way, you always take advantage of the situation that you're in. These guys are in a great spot, playing free, having that, let's just let it rip. That mentality can play beautifully down in Dallas Sunday.
We'll talk more about that matchup as we get into the 10 o'clock hour. I want to remind you that Steinhoffels wants to make this year your year of great sleep. Right now, test rest any mattress at Steinhoffels. I was actually talking about this with Chad Dern and Danny when they were there at the Tundra Trio over the weekend before Packers-Bears. Test rest any mattress at Steinhoffels. You're going to get a $25 Portillo's, Raising Cane's, or Panera gift card, and Steinhoffels will donate $25 to Special Spaces. And Special Spaces is a really cool nonprofit organization that creates dream bedrooms for children battling cancer. So stop in at Steinhoffels, test rest a mattress, get $25 for lunch, and help change a child's life. Steinhoffels is your mattress destination. The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch starts late, but not as late as it has before. So stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Hey!
Tito's handmade vodka is so good and smooth, you can mix it with anything. Now, hear us out. If your usual brunch cocktail sounds like a Tito's Bloody Mary stacked with garnishes is more like Tito's. Sounds pretty good. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Start learning a new language today. Go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta here to tell you about one of the best purchases I recently made, an infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas. It's an easy-to-install sauna that is great for a post-workout, travel, or long-day detoxification, and it has a rapid heat-up time. Using Good Health Saunas can also help reduce stress, improve circulation, and make your skin glow. Got an athlete in your family or just someone with an active lifestyle? Infrared saunas are perfect for muscle and tissue recovery as well. Learn more today at goodhealthsaunas.com, goodhealthsaunas.com.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. Kyle Brust and Nortman. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. And it begins with Mike McCarthy talking about his team.
Jason, before you jump to that clip, do you believe what Evan was saying about the idea that Packer fans have... I don't think Packer fans' thoughts on Mike have changed much. I think we appreciate what he did, but I don't think anyone is still looking at it and saying that they maxed out and got everything that they were looking for out of the McCarthy era. I think he will always be revered as a Super Bowl winning coach. He's probably the third best coach that we've seen in Packer history when it comes to, he's got a championship, a lot of success, a lot of great memories, but that, the coming up short in the 014 and some of the other stuff is still stings. I think Packer fans really like the dude, Mike McCarthy, who he is. From a coaching standpoint, I don't believe anybody has really changed their tune, even with all of the other stuff that I think Evco mentioned. And maybe, am I wrong?
You're not wrong. I do think down the road, and we'll see what Matt LaFleur's career ultimately looks like, right? If he wins a Super Bowl with Jordan Love as his quarterback, maybe he'll be viewed as superior to Mike McCarthy. I don't know. I know right now he's viewed as a guy who had one of the greatest of all time carry him for the first 3 years, right? I mean, I think that's how people view him.
That's how people view Matt. Yep.
And I think again, in October, people were ready to fire him.
Well,
come on.
There were, but it's the same amount of fans that wanted Devontae cut in 16. It's that same group.
Yeah, that was a lot too, unfortunately.
Social media-wise, not in the real world it wasn't.
I don't know,
Just
Jim.
telling you. No, I'm telling you.
My point is that Matt LaFleur has a lot of Natasha Bedingfield left to go here before we see what he is. But I do think that people will look at Mike McCarthy, and I think they are looking at some of the things we've seen from Aaron Rodgers, as Evan pointed out, how good of a GM he is, how good of a judge of offensive coordinator brilliance he is, etc., with this Jets year of complete abject failure, that they're wondering, boy, maybe Mike McCarthy had it pretty freaking hard working with this guy. And maybe that changes a little bit of the perception of what he dealt with.
Potentially. Yeah, I don't think the narrative has changed as much.
I don't think so either, but I think Evan's point was retroactively further down the road. I don't think it's changed much now.
Yeah.
But I do think it also depends on what Matt LaFleur does as the head coach in the next 5 years. Who knows how long he's going to have this job? I don't know. But again, there were some people that didn't want him to have it anymore, and there are people that didn't think he was a very good coach. I thought just Aaron Rodgers carried him. And I think that over the last 8 games, and to your point, and I'm going to bring this up to Matt today, I'm hoping to talk to him one-on-one briefly, because I don't want to do this in the press conference.
Oh, exclusive.
But I want to go back to...
Digi only?
It will definitely not be Digi. I'll record it. We might share the audio, which I guess is digital. But I want to go back to something he said after that Vikings loss, when I started to ask a question about, do you reach a point where it can't just be, hey, these are young guys making young guy mistakes? And that's when he delivered the line that you thought was transformative, which was, we're done playing that game.
Jesse, play the audio.
You're such a jerk. I'm sorry, Jesse. I really do feel bad about that. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Prize Picks, and then we'll get to our Mike McCarthy conversation.
Well, it's been a good start to Prize Picks, and you got playoff football coming. Oh, it's a great time to sign up. Use that promo code WI. Download the Prize Picks app or go to prizepicks.com, and it is so simple. You got all kinds of different things going. Jesse, I haven't seen if there's anything on Friday. Fridays always are kind of teasers, too. You get those teasers where they throw you some free promo funds.
A lot of Flex Fridays that are out and about.
Fridays. There's a lot of fun to have, and I'm an NBA guy when it comes to Prize Picks. I love the NBA. Joker last night kind of let me down. That's all right, though. It's simple. Again, you can pick 2 to 6 players Go ahead. I like the 3. And you can win up to 25x, and you're not competing against me, Jesse. You're just competing against Prize Picks' projections. Download that app. Use the promo code WI. Get 100. Put 100 in. You get 100 more. 200 to play with. Again, download that Prize Picks app today to get started.
Mike McCarthy gets ready to face his former team. Not that he thinks he's facing his former team. It's not about that. He's not participating. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Untethered, unfiltered, and unbothered.
I waited till there was about 5 minutes left in my drive to make that call. I made the call and she said, "Baby, what's wrong?"
Kyle Bruston Nortman, KBN, presented by Bud Light, the official beer of the NFL, and sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
And I said, the explicitive Packers is wrong. That's what's wrong.
Weekdays from 2 to 5, right here on 94.5 ESPN, and subscribe to the show on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts.
With your Saganiac Planning Marquette recap, I'm Chris Larson. Number 11 Marquette saw their 20-game Big East home winning streak come to an end as they lost to Butler 69-62 at Fiserv Forum. The Golden Eagles led by 7 at the half, but shot just 28% from the floor in the second half and finished the game 5 of 31 from three-point range. Junior guard Stevie Mitchell notched his second game this season, scoring in double figures, finished with 10 points, and tied a career high with 8 rebounds.
Kolek hands back to Mitchell. He'll go to the basket and lay it up and in.
Next up for MU, a matchup with Villanova Monday afternoon back at Fiserv Forum.
Don't miss the shot when it comes to offering medical coverage to your employees. Saganiac Planning can coach you on ways to balance costs and prioritize care for your employees with coverage provided by United Healthcare. For more information, call Steve Fluellen, 262-783-6161. Steve Fluellen, 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. Insurance coverage provided by or through United Healthcare Insurance Company or its affiliates. Administrative services provided by United Healthcare Services, Inc. or its affiliates. Health plan coverage provided by or through United Healthcare of Wisconsin, Inc.
Even when the weather outside is frightful, your energy bill could be much more delightful. Replacing drafty windows and doors can dramatically lower your energy costs. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin's energy-efficient windows keep the cold outside where it belongs. You'll help kick the January blues when you choose to book by the 31st for 0% interest up to 36 months. You heard that right. No interest for up to 36 months if you book by January 31st. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
ESPN Milwaukee's Gabe Neitzel. I've spent a while telling you about Mentality because it works. Not just for me, though. Take it from fellow Mentality user Jason. He's got a new lease on life thanks to Mentality.
Process was easy. It really, truly was. And the individuals that work at Mentality, very helpful, very respectful. It was an easy out. You go in a week after, they give you the results right away. And once you find that you're able to do it, just that thought, the energy already picked up a little bit. Most of it could have been mentally wise, but knowing that, hey, I get to start this, it was incredible.
Learn more today at MoTUSA.com.
Hey, it's Gary Olson here for Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Looking for that midday escape? Or maybe you want to impress a client? No matter the season, rain, snow, or shine, Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is open for you. A top-tech, cutting-edge golf experience that gives you the chance to play legendary courses. Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center simulators, entertainment, and best Bloody Marys make it feel like summer all year round. Just $35 an hour gets you a round and puts that summer feel back in your life. Book your bay at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
A new year means new goals for Wisconsin hoops teams. The red and white will make a run to the tournament, and Milwaukee is eyeing up a playoff run in the spring. As Wisconsin's 3PL Evans Transportation knows, it takes a team effort to make those runs, and when it comes to manufacturers' accounting, shipping, and tracking needs, Evans is the supply chain team for you. Good luck to all Wisconsin hoops teams from Wisconsin's 3PL. Find them at evanstrans.com.
Get your game on at the Island Resort and Casino with first-round picks of your favorite slots and table games. Watch your team compete on big screens in Team McSee's Sports Bar or the Sports Illustrated Sportsbook Room. Yes, you can bet the spread, parlays, futures, and more with Sports Illustrated Sportsbook at Island Resort and Casino. Your place to bet on sports. To book a game-time getaway at the Island, call 800-682-6040 today.
From a seat in the stands to the best seat on the couch, Tito's Handmade Vodka is there on game day for every fan. Find cocktail recipes at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
this the Mike McCarthy hour, Jesse?
Yes, sir.
It's quite a concept. As Mike McCarthy does get ready for the Green Bay Packers, his former team. And he brings up, among other... Now, from what I understand here, you're going to play the questions? I thought you only did that when they were my questions.
I think you're going to get a kick out of the questions that are asked during Mike McCarthy's press conference. It's like the comedy hour for Big Mike down there with some of these reporters. He's hooting it up with
Why
these
do
guys.
we keep calling him Big Mike?
Because he's a large presence in the front of the room.
You called him Big Mike.
I'm not going to do that anymore. Unless we're going to carry this over in all other forms.
Like to Big Linda?
Yes. Yeah.
Big Tausch?
Big T.
Big T? No, you're old T.
Big and old. Bold.
No, that's Domofsky. All right, let's play the first exchange. So Jesse tipped me off. They have to introduce themselves every time they ask a question.
I knew Tausch was going to enjoy hearing who's asking the question.
How are you? You know what? Why don't you start doing it and give us a little love? Jason Wilde from Wilde and Tausch, ESPN Wisconsin.
Even the guys that cover him every day?
It would appear so.
Jason, I want you to do that.
Not doing that.
Why?
Because it's awkward and weird.
But it's fun.
You get used to it.
First off, let's hear what these guys and gals are doing. And then we'll see how we like it. Yeah, let's see how we like it.
Well, spoiler.
All right, here we go. Here's the first clip from Mike McCarthy.
Just wait, Jesse's going to play audio? What is going on today?
Don't be mean. So
you were
these
thinking
are,
it.
Jesse, these are from yesterday? These are all from yesterday.
These are from his most recent press conference was, I believe, Monday morning or Tuesday morning. I forgot what the YouTube video was dated, but that's the last time that he has met with the media in Dallas.
All right, so here, let's begin with Mike McCarthy talking about how he's controlling the house and handling things differently than he did when he played the Packers last year.
Clarence Hill, Fort Worth Telegram. I know you're not trying to look back and get nostalgic. How do you stop your family from doing that? And I don't know, are they Packer fans, Cowboy fans? Where are you? How do you control the house?
Well, I mean, I'm living. I got a wife and 3 daughters, obviously 2 sons, but you can't win in that house. So, that's a
Mark
great
Murphy
question,
was
Clarence.
there.
I can't believe I'm saying that to you today. But I don't know. I think the biggest thing is playoff time, and it's really I talked about in the team meeting today. Is this is a time for all of us to be selfish. Every player, every coach, every support staff member, because we put so much into this season, getting ready for the season, and we're right where we need to be, and we need to take full advantage of that. And that's just really the tightness that we want in the commitment. Because last year I thought it was important for me to talk about Green Bay in the beginning of the week. I did with the team. I regretted it. I don't think that doesn't even need to come into our energy base. So you live and learn. This game's about our commitment. It doesn't matter who we're playing. It really doesn't. I mean, I had no stake. I didn't watch one game prior to the yesterday's contest in preparation. So just started last night on the plane, and that's where I am, and I think that's clearly where our team is. Our team, it's just no time for that. I answered the questions honestly in here last year about my experience up there. It will not help us win. So if it doesn't help us win the game, I'm not interested. I apologize.
Tausch, what do you think?
Great answer.
Outstanding, I thought.
Yeah, because he had some fun with it. He appreciated it, but you have to be so laser focused, and it's really hard. Coaches always preach, don't be a distraction. And I think what Mike is in essence saying, I was a distraction last year in that Cowboys-Packers game, and I ain't doing it again. And I know for a fact the year Favre came back from Minnesota and played at Lambeau, the entire organization was distracted and put way too much in. And I know with exit interviews and things like that, everybody the next year said no more of that. And you know what happened the next year? A couple thumpings.
Yep.
A couple old Farvey, and that made little Jesse weep in his Beaver Dam home or wherever in Muskego home back in 2010 when his poor little Bretty got his butt beat by the G&G.
All right, so that I love it. And yes, do I love
You like Mike McCarthy a lot, though.
I do, but I love
Would you say
it.
you love Mike McCarthy?
Yeah,
okay.
I do. But as a reporter, I want him to talk about all that stuff. Like, I want that story
but he
to
would
be
be
part of it.
He'd be a buffoon if he did.
Right, and that's why I respect the hell out of him. Like, he did not... this was as stern as I've heard him be about, like, a storyline. I was saying this to Homer yesterday. Like, he's got a little Holmgren to him in that he actually does want to help you with your story. Like, if there's an anecdote he can tell you to help your story, like, he tries. Matt LaFleur is starting to get better about that, and I appreciate that.
You think Matt LaFleur would like it if you sat down with him and said, Matt, I understand what you're doing, but here's some tips. Have him beginning, have a middle, and have it ending when you're telling
Makes
a
it
story.
so much more interesting for the listener.
I think Matt would actually benefit by you. There's a couple of media folks just sitting there and saying, listen, we don't want gotchas and all this stuff, but you help us, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know how that all works. I don't know the inner workings because I'm not a media
Because you're not
member.
the media, you're an
Sure.
analyst.
But I do think Mike gets it, and that's part of the experience of it. But I also think there's a reason it's a playoff game. He's not nervy, but I guarantee you he knows the pressure's on.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. My point is, I think he's doing exactly the right thing, even if that doesn't do me a whole heck of a lot of good as a reporter who covers this game. And I respect that he did this, because I think it's smart. Now, he also talked about how he's glad that he went back to Green Bay last year. And by the way, I understand they lost that game, but I think he is far better off that he went to Green Bay and lost a regular season game than this game being let's say the Packers won the NFC North and they were the wild card, the Cowboys were. I am happy for him that this game is a home game for him, because could be tough coming here, especially if he hadn't been here last year.
I think it's going to be tough being there.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. Here's Mike McCarthy again.
Snyder Dixon with the AP. Do you think going through the Green Bay thing last year helps now? Kind of got it out of the way last year?
Yeah, personally, it helps me. I mean, it was good to go back there, frankly. I think the biggest thing I got out of going back there was I got to see a lot of people I didn't get to see at the end, so I was thankful for that. Would have liked to win the game, and then at the end of the day, this is my team. I'm a Dallas Cowboy, and this is our opportunity, and I just want to make sure I'm doing my part, and that's pouring everything into winning this game.
Another pretty good answer.
Really good answer, and he let you know he's pretty pissed that he got let go in the middle of the season, and he wasn't able to have some finality.
That I can guarantee you that he will be pissed about that forever.
Yeah.
And again, even if you let him go the next day, he would have been better than what they did.
Let him announce it on Monday. Yeah, that's what we've said. I had no problem firing him mid-season. I didn't have as big a problem as some people did.
Mm-hmm.
It was right away Sunday. But again, that's all in the past. Mike obviously still has some bearing because he went to he's being very deliberate with how he's messaging, which is one of his strengths. He was always a very good message guy.
Yep.
He's very deliberate with it, but that still stings him because he brought it up again.
Yeah, what I was going to say is, even though he said he's not talking about this,
no, he's still
he still kind of talks about it.
What do you want him to do? Say I'm pleading the fifth? Like, what do you want? How do you want him to approach that when you media folks keep pushing? Keep pushing.
I'm not in the mood for drama tonight, Jason. Which, by the way, that is a historical moment. Obviously,
Rob in Michigan on the screen, 100% agree. Wilde should go to the game at Big D and then go to the presser after and introduce himself from Wilde and Tausch. That is beautiful.
I'm not in the mood for drama tonight, Jason.
That's a classic, yes. And by the way,
artificial intelligence-y.
It's because it's very old audio.
Very old, yeah.
Off of, YouTube.
I did not AI it.
No, it's someone recording their television.
All right, what was your point you wanted to get to, Jason?
Thanks. My point was the question I asked that elicited that response was, I know you're mad about this right now, Mike, but is this something that can galvanize your team? And of course, that was after the Fail Mary game.
Yeah.
And of course, he used it to galvanize his team. And we've had a good laugh about that line.
Oh, there's some 5:30 a.m. coffees
over our Starbucks.
Yeah.
You did exactly what I said you were going to do. Yeah, well, that was a pretty good line, wasn't it, Jason? Yes, it was, Mike. All right. There's a few more clips that we want to hear from the head coach formerly known as Big Mike. Because we're not going to call him Big Mike, because after his season is over, after they lose to the 49ers in the NFC Championship game, I'm guessing he's headed over to Fort Tria.
Well, if he ends up getting relieved of his duties and he's looking for a little extra cash, Fort Tria has got you covered. Healthy adults ages 18 to 60, BMI 18 to 32. Study involves 2 stays, 15 nights. You can be compensated up to $14,000 for your time and participation. So I have another one, 18.5 to 32. That study involves 1 stay of 14 nights with 2 follow-ups. Grab yourself $6,566 on your way out. Go to FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's Fortrea, Fortrea, clinicaltrials.com.
More from Mike McCarthy next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcast for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Make plans this month to stop by the Delafield Brewhouse Restaurant and Brewery on a Friday and enjoy their Naga Wicked Pale Ale Beer Battered Cod. Available Fridays for lunch and dinner. Dine in or take out. The Delafield Brewhouse. Drink ale. Live lager.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Associated Bank. Here in Wisconsin, we love our sports year-round, right down to the Packers games and Lambeau Snow. If you want to show your love for the green and gold every day, you got it with Associated Bank's exclusive Packers checking account. A one-of-a-kind debit card, a 10% discount at the Packers Pro Shop, plus everything you'll score as an Associated Bank customer. Best of all, you'll get a banking partner based right here in the Midwest. Visit AssociatedBank.com/Packers to get started today. You've got this with Associated Bank. Member FDIC.
Ever wonder how the best athletes find the power to jump higher, cut quicker, skate smoother, drive farther, and stick the landing? At Prevea Orthopedics in Green Bay, we know power starts with the hips. That's why Dr. Michael Ryan and our team of experts provide comprehensive and advanced expertise in hip care, unlike anywhere else. Come to Prevea Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where we can preserve your hips so you can pursue your goals. Prevea Orthopedics, specializing in you.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
Join the Brewers at the all-new Winter Warm-Up Fan Event Saturday, January 13th. See your favorite Brewers players in a fun-filled live show and get early access to purchase opening day tickets. Don't miss out on the fun. Get tickets now at brewers.com/winter warm-up.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
The green and gold and playoff football. Are you going to be ready come game time? HD TVs in every room. Check. Green and gold flag out front. Check. Grill ready to fire up. Check. Chips, dips, cheesehead. Check. Now the real planning begins. A trip to Discount Liquor to complete your own personal playoff party. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. Is beer on the menu? We'll set you up with your favorite or recommend something new. We have over 2,000 to choose from. What about liquor? Our variety is unmatched, as is our selection of wine. So if you want it, we've got it. Discount Liquor is your personal playoff party headquarters. Discount Liquor has everything you need, all at the lowest prices in town. Come see us today at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee, and on Barstow and Main in downtown Waukesha. Open daily 9 to 9 and Sundays 10 to 2.
Discount Liquor.
What's
what's better than free? How about play free all year? This January at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you can win over $2,000 in reward play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games to earn prize drawing entries. Then stop by each Thursday night in January to see if you're a winner. $400,000 in prizes is up for grabs. Over 40 winners each week. Yeah, free is for me. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
Hey, this is Jen Latta from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. One of the best decisions I made recently was getting an infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas. They're a local business that's been around for 2 decades, based right in Appleton and Waukesha. Good Health Saunas are easy to install, cost as little as 25 cents a day, and include a true lifetime warranty. Even firefighters all across the country trust Good Health Saunas for sweating smoke out of their skin after fighting fire. Learn more at goodhealthsaunas.com. That's goodhealthsaunas.com.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Continuing with the Mike McCarthy Hour. You're right over there?
What are you looking at? Yeah, I'm talking to my guy. Just telling him how good I like the new music. I am not...
You were just complaining about it literally yesterday.
Jason, can you hear me out? I'm hesitant to change, but when I get change, I like to try to embrace it. And I didn't like it at first because we've done the same music for 7 blanking years. Okay? And this morning's open was the first time I was like, I'm kind of digging this. Kind of digging it. Now,
it's the Killers.
This song, yeah, but there's little stuff with it too. And this song gets me in a little bit of an upbeat mood. I like it. I'd like Jesse to splash a little country in there, a little yacht rock maybe for our buddy Matt LePay. Maybe we do some of that stuff too.
I can't wait till we play a song that you're like, this song sucks.
That will happen. Jesse's taking a ton of shrapnel today, and I want to make sure that my boy knows I got his back.
Yeah, after you got done heaping the shrapnel on with references to playing audio after Evan got after him.
Yeah, that's part of the deal.
Well, thank you for your service. Sorry, Jesse, again, I can't apologize enough. I feel really bad.
Yeah, it's mostly on Jason.
I did not know that was going to play out that way. Can we revisit that, though? Can we replay that where he just completely throws you under the bus?
Okay.
Do you have the audio of that?
That's not the first time it's happened where I come, like, I'm talking on the phone or, like, working on something, getting something ready back here, and then all of a sudden I hear my name, Jesse, where is it? And I'm, okay, what am I walking into?
I'm not going to lie to you. I think the fact that you skipped or missed most of last week and now it's Thursday, I think you're just kind of getting yourself back into it. That's what I think is going on.
A little rusty.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with it. This is a preseason week for you.
All right, Jesse, what do you got next from Mike McCarthy and the beat writers who have to introduce themselves before they ask each question?
So the theme of this segment is compared to the playoff game in 2016.
When he was the Packers coach against the Cowboys?
Do we get to pick which one it was, or is that not what we're doing? Like, this is 2016, this is 2024.
No, this is not here's a clip from 20... No,
where's Big Mike?
No, we weren't calling him Big Mike.
You guys aren't stopping, so...
So this was actually the first question of the press conference yesterday, talking about Dak Prescott's first playoff game ever, which was against the Packers and Mike McCarthy back in 2016.
Mike, David Moore, Dallas Morning News.
So weird.
Dak was talking a little bit yesterday that his first playoff game was against Green Bay, just kind of remembering how naive he was and thought how it would unfold. And just what do you remember of that game, and what do you remember of him in that game being his first playoff game?
You know, David, I think clearly you put some time into that great question, but I am not reflecting this week.
It was a different approach. I was trying to get
no, I'm just trying to avoid the question. It was a great game. Dak and I have spoke about the particulars of the game time and time again, and I think even more so when you go through different situations, and there were situations in that game that came up, and now that we're in the same offense. He can see the the similarities and why we do what we do, and and really the history behind it. So, but we've talked about that game a number of times.
This is why Mike's great. He will bust you for this, and he did it to me many times. He can tell when you're trying to get at something and you're trying to be sneaky about finding a different way to get at it. And, it was Dak's first playoff game, and we were talking to him about it yesterday. What do you remember from that game when you were the Packers coach and you beat the Cowboys here in Dallas? He's a smart dude, man. I know, Big Mike gets short shrift a little bit for how smart he is, but he wasn't born yesterday. I like that response too. He's not reminiscing. He's standing firm. I love it.
Yeah, again, and he still is able to acknowledge what's going on. He doesn't just flat out ignore it. But the bottom line is, I think Dak is looking at it. Mike is looking at it, and when you don't embrace things and you kind of say, we're not doing this, you're laser focused, but a lot of times there's a fine line between laser focus and being a little bit nervous and the anxiety that comes with it. The beautiful part of house money is that that's not the case. I don't think, while there's always going to be nerves playing in a playoff game, when you don't have expectations, and again, I've told Packer fans this week, and I'm assuming the players up there, I hope they all understand, embrace this, because the days of that will be gone.
Correct.
Of no expectations.
Well, somebody else actually tries to get to the 2016 game as well. I don't know, but they'll identify themselves here.
Saudis of The Athletic. Mike, in 2016, you were the veteran team going up against an upstart young team. This year, the Packers are the youngest roster coming into the season. What's the advantage of being the team that's kind of been through it a little bit and going up against a team that is kind of inexperienced and young and still coming into it?
I think playoff football is playoff football. I mean, there's so much that goes into how are you playing, today. It's a long year. A lot of things go on during the course of the year. I think it's all part of the investment, the bank account of experience and awareness that you have to go through each and every year. It's all building that connection in all three phases. I do feel, the complementary football formula and the production numbers are where they need to be for us. But yes, I'm by no means an expert on the veteran team versus the young team. I think anything can happen in the playoffs. Just look at I know the last 2 years, I think there's only been one game, as I've stated already, that doesn't come down to the end. So I don't think it's, whether you're young or old. I mean, they've earned the right to be in this game, and I'm sure they're, excited about it and confident, and because I know we are.
Tausch, what do you think of that answer?
Again, I think anytime he hears 2016, his eyes are probably rolling. But yes, it's the right answer, because I think there's this idea that you have all this experience and that's just going to pave the way and get it done. It can go the other way, too. You start feeling that playoff mortality and I don't know if I'll get back. There's just so much build-up to the game. Once the game kicks, it's going to be guys are going to play. Players going to play. Coach is going to coach.
Thank you.
And now you just kind of go off of your experiences, but you think Mike is going to go back and it's a 3rd and 6 and he's going to think, man, you know what? I remember in 2016 we ran this play versus that. None of that matters. And I think what he's trying to do is none of this stuff matters. I'll do it because I gotta, and I'll try to be as cordial as I can. I just want to get back to trying to figure out a way to beat the G&G on Sunday.
Right. And he doesn't need me to tell him what a great job he's doing, but I do think he's handling this well. And what do you make of the acknowledgement that he screwed it up the last time?
Love it.
Because most coaches would not admit that.
No, they would just not. But I love the fact when you can embrace that. And on Wisconsin's Morning News this morning with Vinny and Eric and the boys, we had this same discussion. I said the best part the thing that players will remember most, it's not these rah-rah speeches and guys flipping up tables and Gatorade buckets and everything else. It's when they show their vulnerability as a coach, because there is this line, coaches here, players here, and there needs to, with the power structure and everything else, that's always going to be there. But when you can get your players to understand how invested you are and how personal it is for you, that's when you get their best.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike Sherman was really good at it. Mike McCarthy was really good at it. And I think Mike's strength is that he is always going to be as authentic as he can, and he picks his spots when he lets that go. And there's no reason to sit and try to tell us that that wasn't a big deal, that it wasn't. And the fact that he didn't handle it as well as he did shows that he's grown and he's understood it. And that part, actually, from a Packer fan standpoint, should be a little concerning. I want Mike's urine hot on Tuesday and Wednesday with the media. I don't want laser focus from Mike McCarthy this week. I want him talking about all this stuff. So I would prefer, just like you would from a media standpoint, go ahead, embrace it, take this on. He's not taking the rat poison.
I'll be honest with you. As we went through this, I asked myself, will I get a rat poison reference? I really did.
No, I don't think they're eating off the floor. But they definitely ain't eating no rat poison either.
Jared doesn't have, you don't have to eat off the floor, although the floors are plenty clean now.
You could, I guarantee you, Jerry Jones say, you could eat off the floor. We have the best floors in all of Dallas.
Exactly. All right, so it appears that one other person tried to make a run at a comp between last year and this year with Mike McCarthy. We will hear that and a clip of him talking about matching up with Joe Barry's defense, which I think is interesting. That is coming up next in the Mike McCarthy Hour of Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. The best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
I cannot imagine that there's any way that he missed the game because he's unhappy that the game was on turf. I think that's preposterous to me.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30.
I thought they looked great. I got to be honest, I think that's what I kind of expected from the Packers.
Presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Also sponsored by Construction Business Group and Island Resort and Casino.
Even when the weather outside is frightful, your energy bill could be much more delightful. Replacing drafty windows and doors can dramatically lower your energy costs. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin's energy-efficient windows keep the cold outside where it belongs. You'll help kick the January blues when you choose to book by the 31st for 0% interest up to 36 months. You heard that right. No interest for up to 36 months if you book by January 31st. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
Tito's handmade vodka is so good and smooth, you can mix it with anything. Now, hear us out. If your usual brunch cocktail sounds like a Tito's Bloody Mary stacked with garnishes is more like Tito's. Sounds pretty good. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust here because Forward Healthy Lifestyles has shown me that getting older doesn't mean you have to feel older. We used to think getting older meant having less energy, less muscle, less endurance, less sex, and perhaps a bit more joint pain and weight around that waist. Not anymore. The experts at Forward Healthy Lifestyles help men optimize their hormone levels, including testosterone, providing cutting-edge regenerative medicine therapies, and even help men lose stubborn weight with programs like semaglutide. In 2024, change your life. Visit forwardhealthylifestyles.com for a free consultation.
Cousin Subs just got better. With our newest mobile app update, we've made it easier to purchase your favorite subs and sides with Apple or Google Pay, and the ability to make split payments. And that's not all. Can we get your digits? Sign up today for our new text messaging program to unlock exclusive coupons and offers at cousinsubs.com or via our app. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
Hey,
Tony, we haven't seen you since the golf outing. How's your game?
Same as last year. Terrible.
Hey, that's all right. Mike is brutal on the course.
I'm a little better at swinging a hammer. Are you better with your hammer? Maybe you could join our team at PCI.
Oh, I can hammer. We should talk.
We're always looking to add good people to our team. To learn more, visit us at professionalconstructioninc.com/careers.
Are you ready to start a meaningful career in healthcare? Are you looking for a job that fits your work-life balance? Become a certified direct care professional today and make life better for older adults or people with a disability. WIS Caregiver Careers makes it easy with free online training plus earn a $500 bonus. See your name on Wisconsin's Certified Direct Care Registry. Sign up today at wiscaregivercdcp.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Smoking hot deals just keep coming with quick hot savings from Quick Trip. And right now we're cooling off with $2.99 a gallon Nature's Touch milk. All 1 gallon, 2%, 1%, and skim Nature's Touch milk, just $2.99. Hey, looking to make that perfect movie night milkshake? Or how about making those morning waffles extra fluffy? Our fresh, straight from our dairy Nature's Touch milk is on sale and ready for your fridge. Quick hot savings from Quick Trip. Yeah, we're here to save you some moolah.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Music. This is catchy.
Yeah, tunes have been good.
I need more Hall and Oates, though. All right. 2 more clips from Mike McCarthy, and then we'll get into some of the things that Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love said yesterday as the Packers get ready to take on the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC Divisional Playoff round. Let's start. Jesse, I don't know what this clip is. Is it someone else trying to get him to talk about what he said he's not going to talk about?
This is more the matchup last year compared to the matchup this year, personnel being on the field. So I think they were able to somewhat successfully get this answer. I don't know. You be the judge.
Todd Archer with ESPN. The game against them, even if the quarterback is different now, how much do you look at what you did against them last year in preparation for this one?
That's another great question. I think that clearly, I know this morning, just trying to, get in tune with their, they got some new faces, particularly, play a lot of guys in their secondary, throughout the year. Obviously, they've gotten healthy here of late, but yeah, I really last night and this morning has just been really just getting tied into their personnel. Have seen Jordan a few times in the breakdowns. Obviously has great command of the offense. You can see he's comfortable. He's made some excellent, time clock plus throws. So I have noticed that. But, I mean, it is early. We're early into the preparation right now. But it's really just getting tuned with the matchups.
He knew what Todd Archer was trying to do there, too. That's another great question. But he actually...
It wasn't even really that great of a question.
It wasn't. And the answer, obviously, no blank, right? They're a vastly different team. There are very few similarities between the team that beat them at Lambeau Field, starting with the quarterback. But also, the one similarity might be that Christian Watson ate their lunch after he dropped 2 passes in that game at Lambeau last year. And we don't know what he's going to be. We talked to Christian Watson yesterday. He admitted that he's not going to be 100%. He's hoping.
I don't think he's, if he's not 100%, you think they put him out there?
He said that he was like 90, 95% when he played against Vegas and or Detroit. Was Detroit his first game? It was, right? And he had the touchdown catch late. He's not going to be 100%. He's hoping to be 90%. He said last week he was 75 to 80%. Now, I didn't play in the NFL. Do you know when are you able to, because I know we as reporters ask you guys this.
Yeah,
I try not to ask this because I don't know if I believe you. Yeah. Do you know your body well enough to be able to differentiate between, I would say I'm 70-75% versus I'm about 90-95%.
Yeah, I would always recommend players never give an even number. Say I'm about 68%.
Well, that's an even number.
That's an even number. Two even numbers in that even number.
You know what I meant. 60, 65, like a round number.
A round number or an even number?
Oh, is this what you're doing?
Give a prime
You're still mad about the audio that you didn't play for EFCO. So don't give. It's a dumb question, but it gives you. I think the media is just trying to get you to give you some type of an idea of where you're at. So if you say 90%, you think, all right, you should be able to play. If you say 70%, Christian Watson might be one of those guys. He needs to. This is part of the growing process, understanding your body and being able. And I thought he was able to come back and play some really good football.
Yes,
even not at 100%, because you're going to find out. Anybody that tells you in January that they're 100%, that probably means they haven't played. Otherwise, you're going to be in the 80 to 85, and you better be able to play at 100 at 85.
Even with the most important bye week, if you get the most important bye week in the history of football, how close are you to 100% after that extra week?
Between 6 and 9%. So if you're at
one of which is an even number,
81, you can get to 90. If you're, the bottom line is, I think it gives you a gauge. But the question I have is, when you're humming like this offense is. Christian Watson can be somebody, but are you going to use a roster spot and take away? You're going to take Bo Melton out? I'm not.
No. You're probably going to take Malik Heath out, potentially.
Okay.
Right?
And then, yeah, I would think so. If Christian Watson can give you 15 reps and you can get one or two explosives with him, that is a win.
And you force them to cover him down the field whether or not he gets the ball.
Yeah, if he's running. I mean, he did not look, when he came back from the hamstring in the beginning of the season, he was not Christian Watson.
No. And then he became Christian Watson for a while, and then he knelt down against Kansas City, and then he was no longer playing. I do want to hear Mike McCarthy talk about Joe Barry's defense here before we move on. I'm very curious to hear this answer. I don't care who introduces themselves when they ask it, but we'll hear that as well. Here he is talking about the Packers defense.
Garrett Cornell, CBS Sports. Packers DC Joe Barry and his kind of zone off-coverage scheme came under fire for a rough patch at the end of the year. They've kind of turned it around a little bit against non-playoff teams. What are your initial thoughts looking at?
Good question.
Known Joe a long time. Have competed against him, so just trying to get into a rhythm of their defense. Obviously we played them last year, so a lot of carryover from last year, and we've played some comparable defenses. So yeah, that's all I'm focused on. So it's a very talented team, talented defense. There's a lot of value that they have in their defense. They've played a lot of guys. That's just watching them. Going back, started with the Chargers game, and moving forward there. There's particularly the secondary. So I'm just trying to get locked in on these guys.
I am curious, Tausch, if when Mike McCarthy is preparing for this defense, and we have seen them play more man coverage, we've seen them blitz more in recent weeks. I don't know if that's going to be applicable to Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard. But if you're doing your prep for this, is there some, and I know it would not be an enormous seismic shift, but is there a little bit of uncertainty for the Cowboys' preparation offensively to not really know what these guys are playing defensively now? Because they're not off coverage zone stuff all the time now. They're not. They played some man. They blitzed. What does that do to Mike McCarthy and his staff's preparation, even if it's against the defense where we've obviously been critical of it?
Yeah, it makes it more complicated, and I think the big matchup to watch, and this is a little tease for tomorrow, is Rashawn Gary on their right tackle, Steele. He has given up the most pressures, I think, in the league this season. And that's going to be something, because you can get into all the other stuff, the coverages and what they're going to do on 3rd and 6, and that stuff's all important. But Mike is going to be looking at this and saying, if we protect Dak, we're going to shred these guys. I guarantee you that's what he's thinking. And doesn't matter if they're playing man, if they're playing zone, whatever it is. The way Green Bay has stopped people is their front has won.
Yep.
When they have, they've won. When they haven't, they've been shredded. Carolina, they couldn't get home. Shred City, USA. Minnesota, they got home. Nothing.
City, USA.
Chicago last week, while they moved the football, they couldn't protect Justin Fields. 11 sacks in the last 2 weeks. All of those things are in play. Dallas Cowboys' offensive line is very good. I'm guessing they're going to, Joe Barry is looking at and saying, how can we get Rashawn Gary going, and how can we get one-on-one matchups where if it's him on their right tackle, we feel great. If Mike McCarthy is looking at it, I'm guessing all of the coverage stuff that he just talked about is great. He is looking at this and saying, I'm okay if it's Tyron Smith going against Preston or whoever else.
Right.
But I'm going to leave a tight end in. I'm going to nudge. I'm going to leave it back. I'm going to slide my protection. And when you do that, your Devontae Wyatts, your Preston Smiths, your Lucas Van Nesses need to beat one-on-one. Your Carl Brooks, who, by the way, won a couple of one-on-ones last week, made some big plays. That is how you're going to beat this Dallas Cowboy team. You're not going to outcover them. You're going to need to get home. And if you can't, you will not beat Dallas.
We'll hear from Matt LaFleur to kick off the 11 o'clock hour. I want to remind you, I tell you about this all the time, we have not needed David Gruber and Gruber Law Office's legal expertise when it comes to serious injuries and accidents. I hope we never do. But it's reassuring to know that David and his team are there if that ever happens. And they have the most experience, the most success, and the easiest process to get them on board with your case. One call, that's all. 414-276-6666, 414-276-6666. Check out the website, gruber-law.com. Find out more about the firm. Find out about everything they do in the community. Find out more about David, although I don't think they've included on the website his basketball history. And he was quite the baller once upon a time. Gruber Law Offices, one call. That's all. The 11 o'clock hour starts in 2 minutes. Stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Ian Fitzsimmons.
Nick Saban, at the age of 72, is retiring from the great game of college football. This one did come as a bit of a surprise, but after a long conversation where you are still in Houston after the national championship, I just left Houston after the Natty. I had a very long conversation with a very prominent Power 5 head coach about the state of college football after the game. And he told me, man, the game right now, because I was talking about my brother Devin, who coaches special teams for Carolina. He said, tell your brother, do not come back to college football. It's a dog-eat-dog world right now. We're all wearing milk-bone underwear. Stay in the National Football League because it is just nasty right now. And unless you're a head coach or a prominent coordinator at a handful of P5 blue blood jobs, stay in the NFL.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Hey, this is Gabe Neitzel. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
So don't
hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. And it begins... Oh, wait a minute. Before we get to Matt LaFleur. Tausch, you said earlier that Dan Lanning is going to Alabama.
Is that not happening?
He just... I've never seen this, and I saw this. He did this in November. And again, my connection to Oregon is not I root for the Ducks. Like, I follow them, I pay attention to them, but I don't live and die with their success and failure. It's more a state of mind and a connection to quasi-family that makes Oregon special to me. But there were rumors about him going to Texas A&M, and he did this press conference, and this is not what coaches do. Like, they play the game. You know, Evan mentioned about leverage. Mike McCarthy earlier. Yep. Mike McCarthy doesn't play it either, right? And you said that to him. Dan Lanning basically did a press conference, and I ain't going anywhere. I'm not leaving. And so I saw someone reposted it yesterday because of what you said. Not because of you specifically, but this idea that Alabama's going to come calling. Mm-hmm. And he just posted, and Oregon just posted him saying, I'm not leaving. Like, he's not.
Is that like the Wolf of Wall Street?
I'm not leaving! That is a great movie, by the way. A little bit better to watch on
not one to watch
cable.
with your kids.
Yeah, I was going to say, big Margot Robbie fan.
You're watching Wedding Crashers before that one.
right after you get... it's a double feature of Wedding Crashers and The Wolf of Wall Street. But I just think this is really interesting when you talk about how coaches play the game and the way you mentioned it earlier. Dan Lanning's apparently not playing it either. He's staying at Oregon, and he's nipping this in the bud. And I just think that there are very few coaches that operate that way or do what we heard from Mike McCarthy. And I have a lot of respect for guys that are willing to do that because most of them play along with the game. Now, speaking of coaches, Matt LaFleur talked yesterday, and I did not have to introduce myself when I asked the question. Hunter sent a note that said that he knows somebody in the Dallas media that the media does this, like, by choice. I don't know about that. I'd never covered the Cowboys, but I would feel completely awkward doing that. So I did not do that yesterday when I asked Matt LaFleur about what Jordan Love has done in these last 8 games, and I want to read some statistics to you after you hear his answer. Here is that exchange yesterday.
It's not just Jordan. You always say that, but you've been around Matt Ryan when he won the MVP. You obviously had Aaron for the 2 MVP years. You look at what Jordan's done the last 8 games. I mean, he had, 5 incompletions on Sunday, and 2 of them were near touchdowns. When you look, are you a little bit amazed at where he is after these last 8 games and excited about just, this is still a guy that's scratching the surface?
Yeah, I think the sky's the limit for him. I think it all starts with how he approaches the game and how he approaches life. He's awesome to come to work with each and every day. He puts the time and effort in. He's got laser focus. I think I've said it many times. I think Tom's done a hell of a job with him. It's a great room. The other guys in the room, and it's been really cool to watch him grow, develop, grow, not only on the football field but just as a man as well.
So I have 8-game stat lines for you.
Ooh.
Okay.
565 Analytics, or where'd you get them from?
No, I did them myself. I know that our folks at 565 Analytics would like me to use more of their scientific study work.
It looks like they're big pushing on 4th down.
Yeah, I don't have a 4th down story really queued up right now.
Maybe if they get the right stat, you will.
So I have not used their numbers. But here are 2 8-game stat lines for you. First, 195 of 283. That's a 68.9% completion rate. For 2,384 yards with 21 touchdowns and 1 interception for a passer rating of 117.9. Okay?
That's pretty good.
Now, the other stat line. 196 of 279. That's 70.3% completion rate.
It's a win in football.
For 2,150 yards.
That's pretty good.
With 18 touchdowns.
That's pretty good.
1 interception.
That's real good.
A passer rating of 112.7.
I don't care about passer rating.
What do those two numbers tell you?
Tutters and completion percentage and interceptions. Those are the three things that 565 Analytics would take from that.
Those are also the three things that influence passer rating the most, which you don't care about.
No, because then they try to, again, that number's so fluid. It's fine. I understand why people do it. I don't really care. What I care about is how are you on third down? And where, for Jordan, I think the question was, can he get that completion percentage up? Accuracy was the kind of the red herring, if you will, of where his career was going to go. If they got that figured
White whale?
out, whatever, I don't know.
Heard it both ways.
The completion percentage was a struggle early because completion percentage, yes, it's about accuracy, but it's also a big part of knowing where you're going to go with the football. Your feet go with it, and that's the Tom Clements portion of what we just heard. But not making mistakes and being very not cautious, but being very, very deliberate with what you're doing with the football. Those things all come to command of the offense and belief in yourself. And that is the big swing that he's taken from when Matt LaFleur has given him confidence by saying, let's let it rip and let's stop with the Charlie check down blank and let's start playing ball. And is it a coincidence that those things coincided with each other? I think not. And I was listening, driving into the Everlight Solar Studios this morning to Matt Castle, was on Unsportsmanlike. Matt Castle. And it just was another stark reminder because we talked about Jim Harbaugh when they won the championship and how he believes in his quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Matt Castle was a backup quarterback in the NFL, struggled, bounced around, and Brady blows his knee out. And he said the seminal moment for him, because if you remember, the Patriots went 11-5 that year, missed the playoffs.
Yep.
Without Tom. Matt Castle said when he knew that he could play and started believing in himself, and then his play improved vastly, was when Bill Belichick said, take all the outside noise. We believe in you. I know that you can play this position at a high level. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, Matt Castle said, man, the belief that I ended up fostering from myself from that stuff's important. And Jordan Love felt it because they moved on from Aaron. But there's still something about, when coaches trust you, they don't give you help. They say, let it go. Here's a play. I believe in you. You like this play. The Detroit Lions game.
Yes.
Oh, we're going to move on. Well, I don't know. Hey.
You read my story.
We're going to be fine. Let it rip. And bam, play. And this shifted the whole idea how the game played. So all of those little things, but coaches have to not only tell you the right things, they have to show you that they actually believe it.
Yes.
And
right.
Matt LaFleur has done that, and Jordan Love's stat line since then has rocketed. And it's because Jordan's gotten better, he's seen things, but it's also because he now knows everybody is on the same page and believing that I am the player that I know I want to be.
So you obviously saw some great quarterbacking on film because usually you were protecting those quarterbacks, so you weren't seeing it happen in real time because your back was to them. But you've been doing this show now. This is our 8th season. Our first season was 2016.
Okay.
That was the Aaron Rodgers run-the-table year.
All right.
One of those stat lines was his 8-game stat line on the 8-game winning streak to get to the NFC Championship game. The other stat line is Jordan Love in the last 8 games. And yes, Rodgers threw more touchdowns, slightly lower completion percentage, slightly more yards.
Well, this sounds like an article coming.
Yeah, it's already in today's State Journal.
Oh, you wrote this already?
Yeah, but the passer rating is divided by 5 points, basically, 117 versus 112. And I remember us talking about how Rodgers was playing. And
you said that was the best ball he played in his life.
Yeah. He took the team on his back, and he was unbelievable. And when you juxtapose that with what Jordan Love has done, it's hard not to say, wow.
Wow.
Or wow. You choose whichever wow you want to say. But that's ridiculous, because I've never seen a quarterback carry his team like that, and I would argue that Jordan didn't necessarily have to carry his team to the same degree. And I phrased that question to Matt LaFleur the way I did because he's adamant that it's also all these young guys figuring it out, so they're in the right spots, and he's not wrong. I get it. But how on earth does a guy who was hovering around 57% completion percentage, and this is why your story about Matt Castle is a good one, for him to go from that to this, that is as impressive as it gets.
I really believe that a lot of times people will look at this and think that it doesn't matter, but professional athletes still have the same insecurities that normal people do. And when your coach doesn't show trust in you, it hurts you the same as if it's in a different job. Mm-hmm. And on the flip side, it can actually be emboldened and enhanced in this because you're talking about a lot of alpha dogs and, highly competitive people. When you get that vote of confidence, or that I believe in you, this is your team, and you know that they're being sincere and believe it, it is so powerful that you want to go out and prove it. But when you have the belief in the people that you feel like they're with you and believing in you, there's nothing better. And I think that's what we've seen from Jordan in the last 8 to 10 weeks.
All right, we want to hear something else that I asked Matt LaFleur, because this is a guy that I think we've talked about some throughout the year, but frankly...
Big Matt. We call him Big Matt or not?
Handsome Matt?
Why are you always trying to stir stuff up, Jason?
Lululemon Matt? I feel like we haven't talked enough about how good Aaron Jones has been the last 3 weeks.
I think we've been pretty, but not on a consistent basis. Yeah.
We're going to talk a little bit about him next, so stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. Keep the good times rolling every Sunday with GKB founder and CEO Craig Karmazin on Sunday Karma.
Everyone's using Daniel Jones as why Jordan Love is going to get paid all that money. I think it's the opposite. I think it's what you just hit. Right. I think that it's more of like, hey, be careful. Don't just jump into paying someone unless you're sure.
Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin.
Right. Is that how you manage?
That is not how you manage, but that might be the way that the Green Bay Packers organization goes about their business.
It's the way the Green Bay Packers...
we know they go about their business like that.
Sundays from 10 to noon on ESPN Wisconsin.
Meet Alan, who was diagnosed with sleep apnea.
I was what they call a mouth breather, and I would breathe at night with my mouth open.
And for about 8 years, Alan struggled with a CPAP machine. And then
I saw the Advent commercial, and I thought, well, what do you got to lose? This machine is miserable.
For most people, CPAP machines are miserable, but a simple breathing triangle solution from Advent can be life-changing.
And it really was, to me, it was amazing because I don't think I ever breathed that clear.
This is Dr. Madan Kandula. After having one of Advent's simple breathing triangle procedures, people are amazed at how freely and clearly they can breathe.
I'm happy with the procedure. I'm very glad I did it. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago. I could have avoided that machine I had to have laying next to the bed with the hose wrapped around my head.
Schedule your appointment at AdventKnows.com, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Results may vary.
Is your phone plan messing with your savings plan? Don't get stuck paying for things you don't want. With Verizon, you only pay for what you need. And for a limited time, when you bring your own phones to a Verizon store, you'll get an amazing price on your plan. Plus, you'll save on things you actually love, like the Netflix and Max with Ads bundle. And it's on our award-winning 5G network. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today for an incredible deal. A better plan to save is Verizon. Additional terms and conditions apply.
If you think about it, the floor is the part of your home that gets lived on the most. It gets walked on, stomped over, spilled on. It bears the weight of life on its planks. That's where LifeProof's luxury vinyl plank flooring comes in. Our premium flooring is durable, scratch-resistant, and 100% waterproof, so it can take all that stomping and spilling with no problem. Plus, it comes in a variety of colors and styles, and it's easy to install. So make sure your floor can stand up to life's toughest tests with LifeProof. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Hey, Fleet Rewards members, save 10% now through Wednesday at Fleet Farm. No rebates, no waiting, no mail-in forms or receipts. The added 10% savings coupon is for all Fleet Rewards members, in-store and online. Not a member? Sign up in minutes to get your additional discount. Forget stamps or waiting for rebates. Enjoy 10% savings now through the 17th. And thanks for shopping Fleet Farm. Some restrictions apply.
Join us at Fiserv Forum as we celebrate the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on Sunday, January 14th. This annual MLK game presented by We Energies honors Dr. King's legacy and his spirit of community advocacy. Don't miss Milwaukee Bucks basketball in action and all the special things we have in store to honor Dr. King on Sunday, January 14th. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit bucks.com/impact.
What's better than free? How about play free all year? This January at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you can win over $2,000 in reward play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games to earn prize drawing entries. Then stop by each Thursday night in January to see if you're a winner. $400,000 in prizes is up for grabs. Over 40 winners each week. Yeah, free is for me. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
From a seat in the stands to the best seat on the couch, Tito's Handmade Vodka is there on game day for every fan. Find cocktail recipes at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
I see the light go past my shoulder on one less day from dying young, and I'm not afraid of getting older on one less day from dying young.
Has NIL changed college football so much that ESPN tweets out that Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers? Am I saying that right?
Ewers. Yeah.
Ewers is foregoing the NFL draft to return to Texas next season. I've never seen that phraseology before. Aren't you always foregoing your senior year to enter the NFL draft? I've never seen it the other direction.
Yeah, I don't really love those announcements that people put out. Like, if you're going to leave, just say you're leaving. Don't tell us how great things are and that you're, you want to leave? Leave. Go ahead.
Always a Badger, but I've entered the transfer portal.
Let us know that you're going to leave. That's fine. We want to know the information. But all of the other stuff, there's time for that.
My favorites were when there were a few announcing that they were playing in the bowl games for their teams this year. Like, yeah, I'm suiting up and I'm playing. Like, yeah, I guess I kind of expected you would, unless you're...
Well, a lot of people don't, though. That's why your idea of having them at the start of the season is brilliant.
That's a good idea.
So I want to talk a little bit about Aaron Jones, and I want you to hear what Matt LaFleur said, and I know I get a no blank blank for asking this question, but to me, this has been a game changer for them offensively, and it has helped Jordan Love put up the numbers he has of late as well. Here's Matt LaFleur talking about Aaron Jones.
You said it's your job to game plan regardless of who you've got. But isn't game planning a lot different when you've got 33 versus when you don't, just because of everything he does? Like, how much easier or how different is it when you have him available?
You ever heard the old saying, show me a good coach and I'll show you some good players? Yeah, he's a great player, so he makes us better, no doubt about it. And it definitely opens up our playbook, I would say, and you can do some different things. And the versatility that he brings, certainly, and it's been, not having him and AJ for the majority of the season is taken a whole personnel grouping basically out of our offense. So it would be nice to have both those guys available to have that personnel grouping. But, anytime you got great players, it definitely opens, everything up.
So first of all, I
appreciate his effort. I do. I appreciate him trying and giving you something.
You gonna give him a no blank blank?
Well, no, it is an old saying, but that's not the saying. It's Jimmy's and Joe's, not X's and O's.
Right. The old saying, I think, is a hockey saying, if I recall correctly. I think Jeff Sauer actually once told me this. Show me a good coach, and I'll show you a good goalie. Because goalies make all the difference in the world on whether you win or lose hockey games.
Yeah, but the point that he's making, even though
it's a good one,
and I appreciate him trying. I don't want coaches just saying the blah stuff. I want you trying. You want to throw a truffle thing out there? Go for it. You want to try to find some different ways to paint a picture? I am all in on it. And if you fail, that's fine. That's part of growth.
Like the truffles, yeah.
The truffles didn't fail at all. As a matter of fact, I've been hearing many, many comments about how great that truffle.
I'm sure you have.
Aaron Jones is a difference maker. And for a while, I thought that, well, Aaron Jones, he's been hurt. Aaron Jones will be back in Green Bay next year. I don't know what the deal is going to look like. He's going to be more valuable here than anywhere else. I think Aaron Jones wants to be here, and it makes a ton of sense to bring him back at the salary that whatever it's going to look like. He should be a part of this moving forward. But what he has done is he gives you a credible running game. This rush offense, for the vast majority of the season, has been, I don't want to use the term putrid, but it's been bad.
Yeah, it's been
bad.
It's
not been good. Jordan, matter of fact, when I've been prize picking, it's been him. He now doesn't have to do that as much. Aaron Jones has the burst and the home run hitting capabilities that you need in today's day and age. The combo platter with him and AJ when they are healthy, which, as Matt just mentioned, isn't very often. I like it, but Aaron Jones is a difference maker. The problem is, can you stay healthy, and is he consistently going to be able to do it? He's had some big games. The old running down Tutter City in whatever year, 19, whatever year that was. Those are the types of things we're going to need on Sunday, because I do think it's going to be a tough day defensively. I think this offense needs to not only score a bunch, but they, I think, need to be able to run the football and move the chains with Aaron Jones, both in the pass and in the run game. If you're able to do that, I think any chance that this team is going to have to pull off a shocker down there in Jerryland, it's going to be Aaron Jones having a monster day. And if you believe that, that's a good prize picks opportunity.
By the way, that was, your memory serves you correctly, that was 2019 when he did the wave on his way across the goal line, which was awesome. It also cost him $10,527.
Yeah, and you got to earn like 19 to pay that.
It's a big fine.
Yeah.
He said he will not do that on Sunday if he's in that position.
Especially now, you're not making that.
He likes his money, yes.
Cash.
So is he, I don't want to say criminally, just like you didn't want to say putrid, but when you look at the big picture with Aaron Jones, is he underrated by us?
Oh, nationally for sure. No, I don't think he's underrated here.
You don't think so?
Has anyone said anything other than the fact that he has been injured? He has been a great Green Bay Packer. He's been great. I think there's been, have you been using him enough? Have you been, is he available enough? Those have been the concerns. But when he's out there, his attitude is awesome.
Infectious.
He's got a great personality. I think he's great on the outside, from a PR standpoint and everything else, which, again, most people don't care. But I think those little things do matter. But from a football playing standpoint, man, he is the real deal. And when he's healthy, you've seen what his value is to this football team, because I don't think, did they have anybody else even sniff 100 yards rushing this year?
No.
And he's done it 3 in a row.
Yeah, hadn't had a 100-yard rusher until he's now done it 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, he has brought another level. And by the way, this was what the season was supposed to look like. Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, play action pass. So you could make an argument that Jordan Love's processing and has sped up because Aaron Jones was out for so long. And now, going into the playoffs, you're looking at it, we got a fully loaded operation when it comes to running the football, the RPO game, the play action pass, and now just straight up running the football. You're in as good of a position offensively as you've been all season, because if Christian Watson can give you 15 or 20 snaps with his speed and you have your 2 tight sets, you will have all kinds of options in attacking this defense. And by the way, if you look at the teams that have had a ton of success against this defense, running at Micah Parsons, physical play up front. Your O-line is probably playing its best football. All of those things give you a great opportunity going down there because offensively, I think this is going to be a great matchup for the Green Bay Packers.
Not as great of a matchup as you and Coors Light are.
Yeah, some would say it's a dream matchup. I love me a little Coors Light. Again, I keep telling you, we had another dusting last night, snowfall. Just put a little silver bullet. You want to motivate yourself to get that lawn mowed? You want to get the, or not lawn mowed.
Snow blowed?
There you go. Snow blowed. Coors Light is the beer for you. Brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it's cold packaged, so it's made to chill. Born in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado in 1978. Coors Light is refreshing. It's crisp. I'm not looking at you guys. It's only 102 calories. That's why it is Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Sub responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. In fairness, the lawn 2 weeks ago, you probably had to mow it.
You
On Christmas?
You would have bludgeoned me with that mistake.
Definitely a mistake by old T.
When I'm mowing my lawn in January, I need my Coors Light.
I put it in a snowbank while I'm mowing my lawn.
You know I get distracted when I think silver bullets with Blue Mountains stuck in snowbanks. You know that distracts me.
It's really convenient. You put the Coors Light in the snowbank, you mow the lawn.
Yeah, just grab it as you're mowing by. Exactly.
Nelly's next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcast for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Even when the weather outside is frightful, your energy bill could be much more delightful. Replacing drafty windows and doors can dramatically lower your energy costs. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin's energy-efficient windows keep the cold outside where it belongs. You'll help kick the January blues when you choose to book by the 31st for 0% interest up to 36 months. You heard that right. No interest for up to 36 months if you book by January 31st. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
Ever wonder how the best athletes find the power to jump higher, cut quicker, skate smoother, drive farther, and stick the landing? At Prevea Orthopedics in Green Bay, we know power starts with the hips. That's why Dr. Michael Ryan and our team of experts provide comprehensive and advanced expertise in hip care, unlike anywhere else. Come to Prevea Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where we can preserve your hips so you can pursue your goals. Prevea Orthopedics, specializing in you.
It's time for the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart, located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. National Liquor Mart is packed with deals for all your beverage needs, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily.
Another tough one for the Bucks. This time, a 132-116 loss at home to the under 500 Utah Jazz, a game in which they once trailed over 30 points in the first half. After the game, Giannis once again keeping it pretty simple. The team has to stick together.
Because, like I've said, like facing adversity brings the best out of you. But again, at the end of the day, like we have to get better. We have to realize that we have to keep on doing the little things, you know. And when you add all those little things, that's when you have a winning game, you know. That's when you have a winning team.
Next up, the East leading Boston Celtics are in town. That game, a 6:30 tip on Thursday night.
This has been the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart.
Learn from experts at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Their faculty is recognized worldwide as leaders in their fields. You'll get to know them in small classes and through hands-on learning opportunities. There are more than 200 programs for you to be able to choose from. Plus, new freshmen are automatically considered for merit scholarships. With a merit scholarship, you can receive up to $6,000 over 4 years. Find out why thousands of students are choosing UWM. Apply now at uwm.edu.
A jewelry store can be a pretty scary place. It's full of diamonds and gold, and sometimes the salespeople can make you feel like you really don't belong.
Who wants to feel like that? Buying a diamond should be one of the happiest and most exciting moments of your life, and we promise to make it that way for you. Cross my heart. No matter your age, how you're dressed, or how much money you have, you're going to have a magical experience when you come to Kessler's.
You're going to see the largest selection of diamond engagement rings in one place at one time than you've ever seen in your life.
Looking at rings is a wonderful way to spend time together. And when you find the ring you know is the one, but cash might be a little tight, we've got fantastic financing available and we'll work hard to get you approved.
we're on your side. Kessler's is always on your side. We're 8 stores strong with 6 locations in Wisconsin and 2 in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We'd be thrilled to have you stop in and see what we're all about.
Cousin Subs is here to rescue you from the winter blues with the hero of all Euros. Their mouthwatering Euro is back and features Euro meat, Wisconsin feta cheese, fresh cucumbers, onions, tomatoes, and Greek yogurt tzatziki sauce on their freshly baked Italian bread. So warm up your taste buds today and enjoy a Euro done better the Cousin Subs way. Order online at cousinsubs.com for pickup or delivery. Available for a limited time only. Cousin Subs, they believe in better.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Jesse, this might be a recent record for most time for Wonelli.
Yeah,
How
on earth did we get back on the clock? Evco went about 20 minutes longer. Great job, guys.
All that McCarthy conversation kept our clock management right in order.
He sets a good example for all of us. Time now for Wonelli.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocco's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Wonelli
on Wilde and Tausch.
Ben Brust and the Kyle Brust and Nortman crew taking part in their playoff plunge today. I'm sure we'll be hearing plenty about it from 2 to 4 in Madison, 2 to 5 in Beaver Dam and Milwaukee later this afternoon as they get set for the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs just like we are. Jason, on a scale of slip and slide to something like bungee jumping or something, where do you rank a polar plunge on the scale of that's too dangerous for anybody you know to take part?
How deep are they going and how long are they staying in?
I don't know the specifics. Tausch, I know when Ben came on and talked about it with us a few weeks ago, you said he had to stay, what was it, up to the belly button for a minute or whatever it was?
I don't remember.
Okay.
2 minutes, though, I think is what. So there's actually been studies shown now that cold tubs, and I cold tub most of my career, get your legs back, everything else, but there are some health benefits to doing the cold tub daily. And I'm starting to see a lot.
Have you started?
I'm thinking about it.
Right next to your sauna and your lawnmower that cuts the snow.
No, but I do think that, if there's some health benefits and everything else, I don't think there's a lot of people that do this. This big fundraiser from the Special Olympics is a big part of the Polar Plunge campaigns, I believe. So I want, Jesse, you should go do it.
Well, I think it's a little late.
Why? They're doing it this afternoon. You can do it with Strophy.
Yeah, I've got things going on.
Fair enough.
You should do it, old T.
Great segment.
Yeah, no, I might. Jesse brought it up. I didn't.
Whoa, Nelly!
No, you're not. Now, wait a minute. That was a lie.
I didn't bring this up.
No. You said I might.
I might.
No, I
you're
might.
not. No, you're not.
How is might isn't a lie? Because, it's either way. Yes or no.
There's no chance. Is there, what % chance is there that you join KBN in their Polar Plunge, playoff plunge, whatever they're calling it?
Yeah, there's 0%.
Okay, then you might not.
I left that part out.
Whoa, Nelly!
Thank you for your honesty.
Jason, are you going to cover the Bucks game tonight at Fiserv Forum?
No, but there was some discussion about trying to get down there for someone's favorite player returning to town. Sydney she's hoping we can go to the next time the Celtics come to town because that Drew Holiday is her guy. How do we think that trade has worked out? Still as awesome as we thought, or not as quite as awesome right now?
I'd say pretty. Dame time's working out just fine.
Everybody's panicking. Yeah, our defense stinks.
Get to the playoffs.
Just get better. Probably make a couple of little splash trades here. I don't like how old we are, but that was always going to. Drew's old, too. It's
true.
No, give me Dame over Drew all day.
Overall, you heard Evan Cohen mention it. The national narrative about the Bucks, not real positive right now. That's all. That's all I'm saying. And if they win tonight, that'll change.
Yeah, tonight's game, Bucks Celtics, 6:30 tip at Fiserv Forum. It is nationally televised on TNT. In
You're
addition
right here
to
on 100.5 too.
100.5 ESPN and 620 WTMJ. The Celtics are the best team in the Eastern Conference with a 29-8 record. The Bucks are the second best team at 25-12.
Yeah, I'm not worried at all. The regular season, I overreacted with the Brewers, even though I was right. They didn't advance. Here we go.
Big loss to the Oakland Athletics. Dunzo. God, that was a fun time.
Whoa, Nelly! Tausch, it's not March. Am I allowed to wake you up for a moment to let you know about some college basketball
Hopefully
happenings?
Marquette wakes up. What in the heck is going on there?
They lost
Home
to
games? They're
Butler
losing?
last night, 69-62, unranked Butler. The Butler did it.
Come on, Homer. Get your stuff together with that squad down there.
15th ranked Wisconsin, 71-60 winners at Ohio State last night. Even with a very poor shooting performance in the second half, they get the win on the road. Wisconsin is the only unbeaten team in Big Ten conference play. They are off to their best start record-wise in 12 years. Better than the team that played the national championship game at this point in the season. Tausch?
Yeah,
is that enough to wake you up in January?
Wake me in March.
I've always told you I pay big attention to the Wisconsin Badgers and nobody else. I watched part of the game last night. And I think Crowell was hurt. He was dinged up. He's fought through it and still was able to get out there and grind. And my boy Max had a nice second half. This is a really good team. I told you down in Fort Myers when I was doing my work.
And saving that SMU player's life.
Keeping the way they play defense, it's different. Their attack, I just think this group, they're deep. It's a team that can make a run. Believe that. Look at that.
And it all began in Fort Myers.
For me. Well, that's not true. The Tennessee game wasn't a great start, but here we go.
Whoa, Nelly! And last up today, I was made aware of this thanks to a text from Quick Trip and the Quick Rewards. It is National Milk Day today. National Milk Day.
Why would we not be doing a Quick Trip read when there's National Milk Day?
I don't know. I don't make the schedule.
Okay.
National Milk Day. If you can't pick regular milk, you got to go flavored. Mm-hmm. What is your favorite flavored
Wait,
milk?
how many flavors are
strawberry.
Well, there's chocolate milk, strawberry milk, banana milk.
I haven't seen
root
banana
beer milk. You ever have the root beer milk?
No, not a fan. It's all chocolate milk, and there's nothing close. There's nothing close. As much as I don't like chocolate ice cream, I love vanilla. When it comes to milk, give me chocolate milk. There's nothing else.
Like if you're having a glass of milk with dinner, would you rather have chocolate milk or regular milk?
Oh, I think chocolate milk's more of a special
dessert. It's a dessert milk.
It's a dessert milk. I'm old school. I'm old school, right out of the bulk tank milk. Bulk tank.
I'm sorry, out of the what?
Bulk tank.
Is that as opposed to farm to store or cow to store? Is that like udder to?
That's a
cup? Is that what that is?
It could be an udder to cup deal. That's not bad.
Oh, yikes.
The bulk tank.
Why are you guys laughing? That's what we called. You'd milk the cows, and it would all go to a bulk tank.
Have some patience with those of us that didn't grow up on a dairy farm and teach us, educate us.
Don't
be
laugh.
curious,
Ask
not
questions.
judgmental.
Don't be all laughing.
I did. I asked if that was udder to cup.
Like the bulk tank. I mean, bulk tank is a funny term, but I'd like to learn more about it.
Well, ask questions. Then.
Udder to cup. Are you telling me that it's basically udder to cup?
It is basically udder to cup, yes. And I can assure you, the old saying, the cream rises to the top? You know what was on the top of bulk tanks? Cream. So you got to scoop that off? Depends if you want whole milk. Depends what you're looking for. You want that good butter fat? Grab a little bit of that.
Okay, so since we have a dairy farmer in our midst, and we've been encouraged to ask questions, I drank milk, and look how I turned out, with every meal, but I put ice in my milk. I liked my milk to be really
cold.
cold.
Out a little bit. That skims it.
But it also makes it really, really cold. I loved cold ice milk. Were you taking your udder to cup milk and putting ice in it?
I can legitimately say I have drank milk for 46 years of my life. I have never put an ice cube in milk, ever.
So does that make you not adventurous, or does that make me weird?
Makes us different, which isn't a bad thing.
So it makes the world go round.
Now, there used to be, we all love ice cream, and then there's obviously custard, and there's all this. But I can remember my mom would get ice milk, where I don't know if that was supposed to be a healthier version of ice cream. And
what was that stuff?
It's not near as good as ice cream.
Because it's kind of crystally,
though.
No, custard is even thicker.
What was the texture of it then?
Icy. It was it had an icy texture.
It was
to
crystally.
Crystally.
Like a slushy kind of?
Almost like, when you leave stuff in a freezer too long and you get the ice?
Yes.
That's the vibe.
Freezer burned.
And I don't think ice milk lasted for a very long time. I think ice milk was an in and out type of deal.
It is not. It does not appear to be made anymore. Apparently, the Chicago Tribune did a story about it not that long ago. Also, it is a frozen dessert made with frozen dairy milk, but with less milk fat than regular ice cream. Also with less flavor, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, it's just not as good. It's just not as good. And that's probably why it's out of business.
Okay. Ice milk. I still don't understand how we got here. There's not that many flavors of milk. How many people are saying strawberry when you're asked what flavor of milk, if it's not just regular milk, are you drinking?
That's the part where I think someone maybe didn't have a ton of Wonelli's up and just kind of.
Well, I mean, what are the odds I'm going to get 12 minutes today of all the days?
I have to admit, by the 10 o'clock hour, I thought we'd be up against it at the end. And Jason, to your credit, you found a way.
Very, very, very frustrating.
Well, we'd like to thank Mike McCarthy for helping me with my clock management. All right, we're going to wrap things up, but I wanted there's a couple of aspects to this matchup, and we'll get into more of it, obviously, tomorrow when we do all our preview stuff. But there's a couple of aspects of this matchup that I want to take advantage of an offensive lineman's presence to discuss on both sides of this. The Packers' offensive line figuring out how to handle things, and what exactly the Packers' defense is up against with some really, really good offensive linemen that the Cowboys have on their line. We'll talk about that to wrap things up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Kyle Bruston Nortman, weekdays from 2 to 5.
Never, ever, ever getting back together. You go talk. Oh, that's. Oh, you were off. You were off. I'm off. I was off.
Presented by Bud Light and sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Getting back together. There we go. We're just as good as her. We really are.
Kyle Bruston Nortman, right here on 94.5 ESPN. And subscribe to the show on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts.
You can make the decision right now to get lasting relief from that awful joint pain for 2024. Don't go another year compromising because of that pain in your knees or your shoulders. Call QC Kinetics now. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative, non-surgical pain relief. Your body has what it takes to restore and repair that damaged joint tissue, and QC Kinetics can make it happen. No drugs, no surgery, no downtime. Hi, this is Brad Nortman. The future of pain treatments has arrived. Hundreds of board-certified QC Kinetics providers have treated tens of thousands of satisfied patients all over America. People with back pain, hip pain, any pain associated with arthritis or an injury. This is not a Band-Aid. This is a revolutionary treatment that can get you moving again. Get your life back. This is the year that you can decide to fight against that pain. Take the first step and call QC Kinetics now. Get a free consultation scheduled today. Call 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Brought to you by Great Clips. Scan the QR code at participating Great Clip salons and save 20% on select tickets. Terms apply. Scan QR code in salon for details. Coming to Fiserv Forum January 20th and 21st.
Get your game on at the Island Resort and Casino with first-round picks of your favorite slots and table games. Watch your team compete on big screens in Team McSee's Sports Bar or the Sports Illustrated Sportsbook Room. Yes, you can bet the spread, parlays, futures, and more with Sports Illustrated Sportsbook at Island Resort and Casino. Your place to bet on sports. To book a game time getaway at the Island, call 800-682-6040 today.
Hey, Fleet Rewards members, save 10% now through Wednesday at Fleet Farm. No rebates, no waiting, no mail-in forms or receipts. The added 10% savings coupon is for all Fleet Rewards members, in-store and online. Not a member? Sign up in minutes to get your additional discount. Forget stamps or waiting for rebates. Enjoy 10% savings now through the 17th. And thanks for shopping Fleet Farm. Some restrictions apply.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, founder of Right Choice Tax Resolution and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. Why do so many people live years with back tax problems? You didn't file one year because you were sick or thought you couldn't pay. Then next year you didn't file again. Soon you think you can't file. You do things that don't make sense or may be illegal. Don't bury your head in the sand and hope the problem will go away. It will only get worse unless you make the right choice and step up to get them off your back. Do you want your paycheck garnished, a lien on your house, your passport revoked, or your bank account wiped out? We help reduce or eliminate penalties, negotiate payment plans, and file back tax returns. My latest book has advice on what to do to avoid trouble with the IRS. Make the right choice. Go to rightchoicetax.us to book a call or in-person meeting right now. We know you want to take the first step in getting the IRS off your back so you can live again. That's rightchoicetax.us.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
It's not quite Tackle Talk with Brian Bulaga, which is outstanding. And if you missed it yesterday, you can find it on Wisconsin On Demand. You can find it on the YouTube channel. You can find it in a lot of places. And he was good as always. But Tausch, a little bit of news from, I believe this is from Tom Pelissero.
TP.
And John Machota, who is from The Athletic.
Chody.
Things are trending in a positive direction for Cowboys left guard Tyler Smith, who suffered a foot injury.
Plantar Pash.
Playing.
You got a plantar fash.
On Sunday against the Packers. Mike McCarthy, he is making progress. We feel good about where he is. He's not even their best offensive lineman. They just got that many good offensive linemen on their team. Tausch, you were part of one of the best offensive lines in Packers history. How good do you think this Cowboys line is? You've seen them play.
Yeah, I think they're good, but I think they're vulnerable. I think especially if you can get in a game. This game, I don't want to give too much away because I know Jesse loves his green and gold preview with the great music that accompanies it. Their line is good when they're able to do everything that they want, running the football and getting Pollard going and doing all that stuff, play action pass. If you can get a lead and get Mike, as Blue mentioned the other day, and Blue played a long time. He's going to want to throw that pill. You're going to be vulnerable. And the Packers' pass rush has improved. It's gotten better. Their confidence is growing. They have more bodies that can do it. That's the way to beat this football team. And there's some vulnerabilities for as good of a group as they are, and they're good. There are vulnerabilities, and there are some places that you can, I think Green Bay has some advantages on. Now, can you utilize it? That's where Joe Barry, and that's where the flow of the game matters. And I think getting out to a lead early in this game is for a lot of reasons, the confidence and the youth of this team, and the fact that that's a veteran group that has Super Bowl aspirations, get them to tense up a little bit. Get them to squeeze, as Dick Bennett would say, when you want something so bad, you squeeze, you hold on to it a little harder. That's what you want to get in this game, especially in that first half.
All right, so then on the flip side, you have talked about the importance of this offensive line for the Packers playing at the level that it has, and you have said that it has corresponded with Elton Jenkins getting back to being Elton Jenkins, that he's the anchor, the linchpin of that group. But we've seen the center position with Josh Myers improve significantly. We've seen, and Brian Bulaga talked about this yesterday, the fact that Rasheed Walker has played better. Still not, I mean, no one's confusing him with David Bakhtiari here, but he has played better. I'm not sure if I understand how the rotation is helpful at right guard. I would also be curious if you think that will continue in a playoff game.
I think it probably will. You don't want that. I don't think any. I know everybody will say, well, you want guys, freshness, all this other stuff. Linemen don't care about that. They want to play.
Yeah. And then obviously we know Zach Tom, but Zach Tom did leave the game with a finger injury, came back with it. How do you feel about where this line is going up against the Cowboys defense that is certainly not dominant, but has a dominant player on it that can, as you talked about, potentially open things up for other guys just the way you'd like to see the Packers have that happen on their pass rush?
Yeah, I think we're going to see hyper attention on number 11. Then the question is Lawrence. Is he able to beat their guy? Because just like I think people are going to be looking at Rashawn Gary and saying, we got to make sure we account for him, especially when he's lined up over on this side.
Right.
Can Preston Smith, like he beat Darisaw, can he do what he did in the Minnesota game? Yes, he's coming on. You know, he was a little bit dinged up, though. All of those things, guys are going to have to win. Playoff football is going to come down to one-on-one matchups, and if you can win them. And I think the Packers are going to need to run the football more effectively. They're going to have to stick with it and continue to try and keep this thing where it's, in third and manageables. Because you can get in trouble, especially with a young quarterback, if it's 3rd and 6+. That's when the Micah Parsons and these game wreckers can do things.
I know they run different offenses, but are Matt LaFleur and Mike McCarthy, they're not the same guy, obviously, but when it comes to their offenses, they both want to run the football, and they both will forget about the run pretty easily. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, offensive-minded coaches want to put up a bunch of points and be sexy doing it. That's what they both are looking for. Yeah, I get it. This is the stat that I'm interested to send you guys off with today. Bill Belichick, 24 years. He's coached one football team. How many coaches of the other 31 teams had in that time frame? Take a wild guess.
Is it more or fewer than the quarterbacks the Bears have had since?
More. It is more.
I don't have 112.
If I said 190, would you guys go more or less?
More.
Ugh. What if I said 220?
Less.
What do you want me to say?
213 different coaches. Ain't that
That's a lot. It's a lot. That's a great stat to end it on. Go mow your lawn. That's it for us today. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on Wisconsin On Demand.
Hey, it's Gabe Neitzel from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. You've heard me talk about the results mentality has had on my life, but don't just take it from me. Jason has had success too, thanks to mentality.
My only regret is I didn't do it sooner. Knowing once again I've gotten the treatments done and continuing, I do feel, stuff does hurt a little bit more, but I'm 40, in my 40s, and that's going to happen. But again, the energy levels, it is above and beyond. Again, I'm back in that age where I'm like, this is amazing.
Get started today at lowtusa.com.
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Kessler's gives you diamond choices that no one else can give you.
We have all the colors and clarities and carat weights of diamonds that come from diamond mines.
And we also have diamonds that come from plasma chambers, newborn created diamonds.
Is it time to buy an engagement ring?
Or a big anniversary diamond?
Tell them what an anniversary diamond is, Monica.
An anniversary diamond can be twice as big as the one in her engagement ring.
Why twice as big?
Every diamond makes a statement.
Okay.
The anniversary diamond says, I love you twice as much today as the day I married you.
Now tell them about our miraculous no small print warranty.
If you bought it at Kessler's, it's guaranteed.
It's just that simple.
And all maintenance is free forever.
No charge.
Yes, it really is that miraculous.
You found a partner you want to share your life with.
When you're ready to celebrate.
We've got a diamond for that.
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Join the Brewers at the all-new Winter Warm-Up Fan Event Saturday, January 13th. See your favorite Brewers players in a fun-filled live show and get early access to purchase opening day tickets. Don't miss out on the fun. Get tickets now at brewers.com/Winter Warm-Up.
Hey, this is Jen Latta. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. For the second time in as many days, it is the end of an era. Yesterday, it was Alabama coach Nick Saban announcing his retirement after an incredible career at Bama. And today, fellow coaching legend Bill Belichick and the Patriots expected to mutually part ways after a 24-season run that, like Saban's, will never be matched, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter and Mike Reese. Belichick wants to continue coaching, is expected to draw interest. There are 7 other NFL head coaching vacancies. Pats linebackers coach Gerard Mayo projected to be a leading candidate to take over in New England. Today's press conference with Belichick and Patriots coach Bob Kraft, noon Eastern, ESPN Radio and ESPN. NFL announced the Bears, Vikings, and Jags will each host games in London this upcoming season, while the Panthers will host a game in Munich. Opponents and dates will be announced along with the rest of the NFL schedule in the spring.
From the ESPN studios at Pier 17 in the Seaport District of New York City, this is Greeny with Mike Greenberg on ESPN Radio. You can also listen and watch the show on the ESPN app.
Yeah, back and busier than ever. Greeny on a day like nothing I can ever remember. Presented by Progressive Insurance. Really extraordinary legends moving on from places that we've become so accustomed to seeing them that it makes you wake up today feeling like it will never be the same again.
Here we go! Only one place to start.
Live in New York City with enormous breaking news this morning. The New England Patriots and Bill Belichick are parting ways after 24 seasons.
I don't see any way he's done. You know, the fire's still there. You don't think that people are going to be lining up to get Bill Belichick?
Nick Saban, Alabama head coach, has just informed his team he is retiring from college football.
Deep down, I think he knew this was the moment. Win or lose last week, it was a great time to leave.
Wow, that's my reaction. It's wow. The entire show we had planned went up in smoke. That's pretty much the reality of it. Again, Saban yesterday after Pete Carroll yesterday. Carroll, a long and incredibly successful tenure in Seattle. And then a few hours later, Nick Saban announcing his retirement. Oh, my goodness. Clear out a week of programming time. And then 12 hours later this morning, Shefty and Mike Reese with the news that Bill Belichick and the Patriots go their separate ways. Delighted that you're here with us. We will spend 2 hours talking about all this today. The hashtag crew is all ready to go. But there's always one voice that I think of when really monumental things happen in football. Particularly those that involve the history of the sport, because there's one person who I know has an even greater appreciation and understanding of it than I do, and certainly someone who also over the years has had an extraordinarily close relationship with Bill Belichick, maybe more so than anyone else in the media, and that is ESPN's own icon, Chris Berman, who is good enough to jump in with us this morning and share a few thoughts. Boomer, I can't tell you how much we all appreciate this, and I think the only right way to start this is just to give you the floor. Bill Belichick and the Patriots, after 24 unprecedentedly successful seasons together, what thoughts are in your mind today?
Well, first of all, Greeny, Happy New Year. Let me be the last to wish you a Happy New Year, right? You knew that was coming. You just detailed it, bigger picture, and then I'll answer it. I mean, a seismic 24 hours. I mean, that means Andy Reid and John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin are the last ones left in the Alamo, right? After all of these, the biggest names in the sport really leaving. So for Bill, look, did no one knew? Okay, it for sure was done. He may have, and the Crafts may have, and maybe we'll find that out in a little while. Maybe we won't. But that's not the issue today. I mean, what you asked me was, well, here's a guy that won 333 games, most all of them, or obviously the bulk of them with the Patriots, and set a mark that may never be equaled, meaning the 6 Super Bowls and all the, not to mention others in, and not to mention others as assistant. You know the resume, and your listeners know the resume as well as I do. What's interesting, in anybody that's been around as long as he, and I'm sure, and we could say the same, for example, about Don Shula, but for Bill specifically, think of the ways they won. I know this year was very little of it, although to the end their defense played very well, with maybe without their best 2 players. But nobody's analyzing this year's team now, Greeny. When they won in 01, they were kind of unknown, even though they won their last 5 or 6 games going into the playoffs, whatever it was, with an unknown quarterback. We know the history. If Antoine Smith might have been the running back then, if he had 1,000 yards, that's just what he had. I don't even know that. You can't really name very many offensive skilled players from the team. And even in 03 and 04, defense was more the calling card. Even by 04, when New England won their 3rd of 4, they had Corey Dillon the last one. And you knew who Troy Brown was, and you knew a couple other names, but it wasn't, I mean, you knew the kicker, obviously, Vinatieri, but this was, we hold them to 17, we'll get 20, and we'll win. All right, now 07, not very long thereafter, here's Tom the Randy, what was it, 25 times? He threw 50. Again, they lost at the very end, but they were 18-0 going into the last minute of the Super Bowl. And so they won with dynamics. Oh, my God, one of the most dynamic offenses of all time, right? And then as their defense, that great defense, a lot of the names we knew grew a little older, and then there was, for them, a little down period in which they did not even advance to Super Bowl and then lost to one of the Giants. And then here they go, and the narrative is almost, so not even they are going to win a Super Bowl again, huh? And then here's 14 with the play at the goal line against Seattle, and then here's 16, and then here's 18, a game that was tied almost back to the future, Greeny. It was 3-3, I think, going into the 4th quarter with the Rams, if I'm not mistaken. I'm doing this off the top of my head. So I'm not saying that he won all of them with Tom Brady. I get it. And there were certain components offensively, the slot receiver, Troy Brown to Wes Welker, to Amendola there for a little bit, but obviously Julian Edelman. There was that. The 11 team had the double tight ends, Gronk and the late Aaron Hernandez, right? So that was a different. But defense above all, even if it wasn't the dominant in 07, was the calling card, the steady, along with the quarterback, along with the coach. The one thing I will say about Bill, because I do know this, and you do too, is that he loved, okay, they have a game Sunday. Let's say it's regular time, 1 or 4. And then maybe Sunday night would sneak back in the office just to look at that game a little. But he loved, after the players were out of the building Monday, the 48 hours or the 40 hours, you do the math, from, okay, let's devise a plan for this week's opponent. And we're playing the so-and-sos. And what do they have that's great that if we don't do anything about that, they're going to beat us? Well, we got to stop this. So by the time the players would come in at 8 o'clock or whatever on Wednesday morning, and here's the game plan this week, guys, he loved that 40 hours. And what that is the most basic of X and O football.
Mm-hmm.
He never wavered with that. I'm not saying he's alone, Greeny, but that's what I will always appreciate as a football fan. Now, I didn't see any of this in person, obviously, but I know. A marvel. He loved it. He'd smile when I'd ask him about it. Well, like Monday night when you're cranking on, the game plan for the Kansas City Chiefs or whatever. He loved it. And that's the essence of a guy born in football. And he will be somewhere else if that's what he wants, whether it's next year or take a year off. That never wavered. And I know you know that's true.
100%. Greeny live above the Heineken River deck at Pier 17. And in that way, maybe he found his kindred spirit to have the kind of success that Bill Belichick and Tom Brady had together. It's a miracle. It is literally once in a lifetime. It's never happened before. And what you're saying reminds me so much when I had Brady's father on after they won the last Super Bowl in Tampa or something. I asked him, what makes him keep going? And he said to me, because he loves the little things, all the stuff everyone else hates, the stuff everyone dreads, all of the things that eventually drive people out of the game, because it's not the glory, it's the minutia, that Brady loved that stuff. And you're telling us, and we know it, that Bill loved that stuff, and maybe that explains their symbiosis, why they were able to do that together, because they loved the parts of this that most people hate.
I think you're certainly onto something, and I'm sure they butted heads in a teammate we're both trying to achieve the same thing, but I don't mean butted heads more than two guys who are at the ultimate top of their profession and proved that pretty early on in New England, that you're right. And a lot of their minutiae, if we pronounce that correctly, was different, right? But a lot of it also was the team. Again, look, any successful team, coach, quarterback would say the same thing, but when you've won 333 games and all the Super Bowls and et cetera, and have all the success and mold a player, and almost all the time, I'm going to be proven wrong with this. Again, I'm all off the top of my head here. But, the team usually was flying in December, right? It's the team that ended up going somewhere. How do you... Oh, we're 2-2 in September again. Are we uptight? Well, what's wrong with the? I'm making it up. What's wrong with the offense? It's September 30th. He told me a long time ago. Again, any longtime coach would say this is true, but I mean, this is out of his mouth. It was one time. I think I was up there in late August. I mean, kind of earlier, middle on of this run. And I said, so what kind of team you got? It was like a week to go to the season. And he goes, Boomer, anybody that thinks they know what they have before you've played 4 or 5 games is kidding themselves. Because now we would scout another team, and yeah, they have these 2 pass receivers or whatever it is, right? But any coach is fooling himself if they really think they know what they have until we played a quarter of the season. And it doesn't mean like you're trying to go 0-4 and not worry about it, but how things like that. He did, look, did anybody, every move he made, you can go, whoa, remember that he went for it in his own. Now, by the way, analytics would say go for it on your own 30, the game against Indianapolis, right? I mean, well, what was he doing? Well, they couldn't stop Peyton that day, so we're trying to go for it and never give him the ball or whatever. Again, but the way he would work clocks and stuff with 6 minutes to go in the half. Again, is he the only one that ever did it? No, but his mind is the thinking about stuff that you and I, who follow football pretty closely, although we would never overstep what we think we know compared to anybody in the game. But think about things that, how do you even think about that while your player is hurt, or this guy's just torched you for 5 catches for 120 in the first half of it, but I'm also managing to get, How do you come up with all that? Very unique mind, in addition to everything else about Bill.
And then very quick final thought here, Boomerang, because I'm going to run out of time, but this is something that I think you will appreciate. Marcus Spears on Get Up this morning said, guys, can we not make this seem so sad? It is not a funeral, and I get that, and I agree with it, of course. It's a celebration on some level of these great careers. But there's also something, those of us who mark the passage of time by sports, anytime an era like this comes to an end, it does leave me feeling very melancholic. It leaves me feeling a little bit sad. I'm watching video of Bill Belichick coaching Lawrence Taylor, for crying out loud, this morning, and that's 3 generations ago, and he's one of the last remaining links to that. When these kinds of eras come to an end, how does it make you feel?
I was melancholy. I'm very close to Pete Carroll, for example, yesterday. Like, I didn't completely see that coming, but I wasn't shocked. So I'm not answering the Bill question with that, but I kind of was off last night. Like, darn, so this, we've kind of sniffed that it wouldn't continue there, or 20% it would. How does it make me feel? Makes me, it's hard to do it immediately, but appreciate what we saw, whether you rooted for, against, or had no thought as a fan to watch the Patriots. Appreciate greatness and the drive to be great, and maybe look at ourselves at whatever job it is that we do, whether we're a plumber or whether you're on the radio or whether I'm on TV in my semi-retired state, and like, you know what? While we're doing it, we might as well try to be the greatest that we can, because everybody expects that, and because that's what these great ones expected of themselves. I mean, I hope I'm not talking around in circles, but we were lucky to see it, right, Greedy? We as fans were lucky to see it.
And we were lucky to chronicle it. I mean, these are 2 living legends. It was Saban the day before as well. Boomer, I'm up against it here. What a pleasure to hear your voice. Thank you. Happy New Year. We'll see you soon.
I look forward to it. Thanks, Greedy.
Okay, the great Chris Berman with his thoughts. We will gather the assembled members of the hashtag crew around us, and we'll spend the next hour and 45 minutes on the kind of stories that you rarely get once in a decade, much less twice in a day. We'll be right back on ESPN Radio.
If you're just tuning in, this is Fan 23, Fansville's #1 sports radio station.
Brought to you by Tasty Dr. Pepper.
We are settling the great debate, best third quarter snack, hot dogs or nachos?
You know my mantra, Doug.
Yes.
Meaty early, cheesy late.
Well, it looks like we have a caller here to weigh in. Is this Chuck?
Popcorn in the third is the move.
What?
You go with passive snacking after halftime.
No, it's nachos.
Look, as long as there's an ice cold Dr. Pepper there to wash it down, I'm good with either. Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
TaxAct can think of a million things more fun than filing taxes. TaxAct is going to name some now. Sitting in traffic. Folding a fitted bedsheet. Listening to your coworker talk about his fantasy team. Digging a hole.